What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another amazing Naruto story. What if Naruto was neglected but trained by the spirits of all the Kage? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description box to original creator of this beautiful creation. Hokage-sama, we had to do something about this. The beatings keep getting worse and worse, it's only a matter of time before they actually kill him or fatally damage him. He's only 5 years old and he's been through much more than half the ninja in this village. Wolf, Kakashi, shouted. He's right Hokage-sama, even if we do shadow him often, we can't always keep an eye on him ever since he was thrown out of the orphanage. The Anbu that have watched over him have taken a liking to the boy. Can he not live in the Anbu HQ? Tiger, Tenzo, suggested. I knew it would come to this. And I myself cannot adopt him, it would cause an uproar. Sarutobi sighed and puffed his pipe and blowing out the smoke. Alright, I give you my permission for him to live in Anbu headquarters, though you two will be his guardians, since you both know his heritage. You Wolf, were his prize student and you, Tiger, have the abilities of the first, so if the Kyuubi's chakra goes berserk, you can control it. Besides, he knows you from what I have heard. Arigato, Hokage-sama, they both said and disappeared to tell Naruto of the good news. In the hospital, Naruto woke up in a sewer. Where am I? He wondered and walked around. Over here, come, find me. What was that? Who are you? Naruto asked the voice. Find me, come, Naruto. Naruto followed the voice until he walked into a large room with a cage with the word, seal, in the middle. Then found himself looking into large red slitted eyes. Whoa, Naruto jumped. Sorry about that kid, do you know who I am? A big fox. Naruto smiled. Kyuubi sweat dropped. If you want to put it in the simplest terms, yeah, I'm a big fox with 9 tails, kinda attacked your village. But it wasn't me. Wait, it was me. But I wasn't my fault. Okay, maybe it kinda is. Naruto's sweat dropped. I was being controlled so it wasn't my fault, you gotta believe me kid. I ain't a bad guy, okay. I kinda am. Only to my enemies though, especially that Uchiha Teme. Kyuubi continued to rant and apologize. I believe you, Naruto said without hesitation. Of course you wouldn't, I may await. What, you do? Yeah, for some reason I can see you're telling the truth, I can. See your spirit or soul. It's bright yet there is some malice, but I can sense it's good though. So I know you didn't mean to, no worries. Naruto said. That must be your Kekkei Genkai kit. It allows you to see souls and spirits of all living things. It must have awakened from your last beating. By the way, I'm the great Kyuubi no Kitsune. But you can call me Kyuubi. Might as well tell you what really happened that night. And explained everything. Naruto took it well and after he was finished he introduced himself. Uzumaki Naruto. I'm gonna be the greatest Hokage ever, believe it. I have a Kekkei Genkai. That's so cool. Naruto shouted excitedly and started jumping around. Calm down kid before you hurt yourself. Just then Naruto accidentally rammed face first into one of the cage bars. Ow, Naruto mumbled, rubbing his forehead. Kyuubi's sweat dropped. Anyways, I'm going to give you another Kekkei Genkai. I'll activate it for you as an apology for what housing me inside has put you through. It's called Shun Shun Rika, Orihime's ability in Bleach. Basically you have the ability of the rejection of events, a powerful ability indeed. Though I would try to only use it for helping others, this ability is fantastic for healing wounds, from missing limbs to shattered bones. This ability can heal them all, though it costs a hefty amount of chakra, but with me and you working together, it's no problem. Cool, thank you Kyuubi, now I can save my precious people even better. Naruto threw his arms up in the air. Where am I anyways? In your mindscape kit, it's where all your memories reside, well, including me, so from now on can I have a mental connection to you? It lets me see what you see, hear what you hear, smell what you smell and so on, and it also lets me talk to you telepathically. But I need your permission for this. Sure, you can be my friend. Naruto grinned. Not many would want me as a friend kid, you're interesting. At least I won't be bored now. Time for you to go kid. People on the outside are waiting for you to wake up. Kyuubi said and pushed Naruto out of his mindscape, forcing him to wake up to see a white room. The hospital. Whoa, I haven't seen this much white since, ever. Kyuubi wide-eyed. Naruto, are you awake? Wolf called as he opened the door allowing him and Tiger to come in. Yeah I am. Naruto smiled. Even after all he's been through, he can still smile like that. Wolf saddened. Excellent, now we have a question or rather, a request Naruto. Wolf asked him, what is it? Naruto confused and tilted his head. We want you to move in with us at the Anbu HQ. Tiger said, really? Can I? Naruto said and tackled Tiger with full force, almost toppling him over. Hee of course, we asked you didn't we? Wolf chuckled. I can't wait, Naruto said and continued to hug Tiger and let go and tackled Wolf, giving him a hug. Tiger chuckled at his antics. I met Kyuubi and he told me about my bloodline abilities and everything. They instantly stiffened. What did it tell you, Naruto? Wolf cautiously asked. I'm not it. Kyuubi complained. Naruto explained the whole situation to them, even allowing Kyuubi take over at the night of the attack explanation. They calmed down after that. Naruto and Kyuubi decided it was best that they kept his Kekkei Genkais a secret for now. They left to go gather Naruto's things, which was just a few pieces of clothing, and headed to the Anbu HQ. In Anbu HQ, they showed Naruto his room, which was right between Wolf's and Tiger's room just in case he needed any of them. They headed to the lounge to introduce him to everyone. They entered the lounge with Naruto nervously clinging to Wolf's leg, trying to make him smaller, also noticing the two ghosts that followed them. Guys, this is Naruto. He's going to be living with us today. Wolf said and pointed to the small child peeking from behind his legs. Though he knew they were good people from his ability to see their souls, he was still shy. The female Anbu squealed, kawaii, and glomped him. Do you think I should tell Doggy-chan about those ghosts that's following him? Naruto wondered as he struggled to get free from the women's embrace. Lucky bastard, the men in the room thought. Not yet, wait until you're alone with him. The ghost seems to be attached to him dearly, try and talk to them. You can establish a spiritual connection with your ability. Remember, only you can interact them after you have made the connection. Unless you make a bond with another person, allowing them to see and touch ghosts like you can. You can make this ability permanent or temporary for that person. By doing this, you're creating a special bond, and that kind of connection leaves a mark. But they can't allow others to make spiritual bonds with ghosts like you can. They are also unable to pass it on to their children. Just think of it as bestowing a crappier version of your bloodline limit. Thank Kami you have a lot of chakra or you'll never be able to pull it off easily. The first ghost was a boy with black hair. He was about 13 years old. He has a pair of orange goggles. He was looking at Wolf with affection and worry in his eyes. The other ghost was a man with silver hair like Wolf with the same emotions as the other ghost in his eyes. Naruto attempted to make a connection with the ghosts. They were surprised when the link connected and they both looked at Naruto and the man said, "You can see and hear us?" Naruto made no visual expressions to tell them he heard him but spoke to him mentally like Kyuubi. Tilda, I can hear you, and I can see and touch you as well. My Kekkei Genkei allows me to do this. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. What's yours, Tilda? My name is Uchiha Obito. Obito smiled. Mine is Hitaki Sakumo. Sakumo said, I'm glad someone of the living can hear and see us. It gets quite dull knowing people can't hear you other than other ghosts. Yeah, you got that right. The other ghosts besides Sakumo here that we've met are such stiffs. Obito scoffed. Tilda, what is your connection to Doggy-chan? Tilda Naruto wondered. Sakumo and Obito started snickering at Wolf's nickname. I'm his dad Naruto-kun, Sakumo smiled. His teammate, Obito grinned. Naruto. This is Falcon, Badger, Bear, Cat, Cobra, Tiger and me, Wolf. Wolf introduced pointing to each of them and they waved back. So Birdie-san, Bugger-kun, Teddy-chan, Kitty-chan, Hubby-san, Tigger-san, and Doggy-chan. Naruto wondered and tilted his head. Everyone's sweat dropped and Bear, Badger, Tiger, and Wolf face faulted. Falcon, Cobra, Cat, Obito, and Sakumo snickering at their new nicknames. Another Anbu member walks in. He's missing his left arm. What's up, guys? He asked casually. Hey monkey, Naruto-kun here gave these guys funny nicknames. Bugger-kun, Teddy-chan, Tigger-san, and Doggy-chan. Cobra grinned. Monkey started to laugh, trying to cover it with coughs but failing miserably. What you going to do now, monkey? You lost your arm in that last mission. Cat saddened. I'll figure it out. Stag sighed and leaned against the couch. Naruto got an idea and walked up to Monkey and started to tug at his pant leg. "What's up, kid? I can heal it," Naruto said and pointed at his missing arm. Everyone raised their eyebrows or were just interested in what Naruto was going to do. "What do you mean, kid? You can't just regenerate an arm like that," Monkey said. "But I can, let me show you. I'll prove that I can. Sit down so I can heal you," Naruto said, continuing to tug at his pants. Monkey shrugged, complied and sat down on the floor, interested in what he was going to do. Naruto put out his hands and said, "I reject," an orange-yellow barrier-like shape forming in front of his hands. Seconds later, Monkey's arm started to regenerate. Bones and muscle started to weave together, forming an arm, then skin covered it. Monkey's eyes along with everyone else's widened. Soon the arm was completely regenerated. The orange-yellow barrier faded away. "Phew, I told you I could do it," Naruto huffed. "Thanks, kid. I don't know what to say." Monkey stuttered. Overjoyed, he had his arm back and started to hug Naruto tightly. He began to flex and stretch his new arm a bit. Naruto smiled at him. "That was amazing, Naruto. How did you do that?" The others, including the ghosts, said at the same time. "It's my Kekkei Genkei," Naruto said, slightly surprised at the volume. "You have a bloodline limit?" They all said. "Yeah, I just told you." Naruto slightly nervous. "We have to go see the Hokage about this. This ability is absolutely amazing," Kat said excitedly, and they all grabbed Naruto and Shunshined to the Hokage's office. In the Hokage's office, Sarutobi sighed from all the paperwork until a group of Anbu holding Naruto Shunshined in. "May I ask what this sudden visit is about?" Sarutobi asked after placing a silencing jutsu. Then Wolf proceeded to explain everything, from Naruto's conversation with the Kyuubi to the regeneration of Monkey's arm to Naruto's bloodline ability. Naruto then explained about his connection to the Kyuubi and his Shun Rika ability. He left his ability to see spirits out until later, and how it worked, the wider range, the longer it took for something to heal and stuff like that. Sarutobi dropped his pipe at that. "Naruto, with that ability, you could save a lot of lives. Because of this, I want to ask if you would like to become the first and only Anbu Special Ops Medic. Do you accept? You'll get a mask and a unique uniform. Think about what the uniform looks like yourself," Sarutobi suggested. "Of course, old man. My dream is to become the best Hokage ever," Naruto said, and started to run around the room and started to jump up and down. Kit, you might want to slow down before you hurt yourself, Agai." Naruto then stumbled and fell on his face. "Ow," he said as he rubbed his forehead. "Do you ever learn, Kit?" Kyuubi's sweat dropped. Everyone else in the room, including the ghost, sweat dropped. But they were relieved he accepted to be an Anbu medic. Medics were uncommon in this day and age as not many people had the chakra control for it. Naruto didn't have this problem according to his bloodline limit, and the wounds and injuries he could heal far surpass regular medical jutsus. With Naruto on assisting on high-ranked missions, Anbu didn't have to worry as much from dying from injuries as he could heal them like it was nothing. "Wolf, Tiger, I'm putting you two in charge of his ninja training. Naruto's bloodline limit is a highly valuable asset to the village concerning high-ranking missions. We need to have him out on missions assisting other Anbu as soon as possible. No doubt his presence will greatly increase the success rate of missions, especially since less Anbu will suffer injury-related deaths or crippling. And please do keep this a secret. Who knows what the council will do to him once they find out about it," Sarutobi ordered. "Hi, Hokage-sama," they all said. "Oh, and Naruto, since you gave me my arm back, the least I could do was show you my real face," Monkey said as he took off his mask for Naruto to see. He had black hair with amber eyes. "My real name is Rikata Ryohei, nice to meet ya." Naruto just stared at him and blurted out, "Wow, you have a face? I didn't know Anbu had faces." Everyone, including the ghosts and Kyuubi, face faulted. "What do you mean, Naruto-kun?" Tiger said as he quickly recovered. "I thought Anbu wear masks because they don't have faces," Naruto answered truthfully. Everyone's sweat dropped. "Doggy-chan, can I talk to you alone, please?" Naruto asked. Sure, I guess." Wolf led Naruto out of the building and to the memorial stone where they would be alone. "What was that about, do you think?" Kat asked. "Who knows?" Tiger shrugged. "Well, as long as Wolf is with him he'll be fine." At the memorial stone. "Okay, what do you want to talk to me about, Naruto?" Wolf asked. "Well, I have another bloodline ability." Naruto started. Wolf urged him to continue. I can see spirits and ghosts of living things, Naruto said. Wolf widened his eyes. Are you sure? Yes. I even see two of them right now. There's one that is young with goggles and a missing eye named Obito, and another one. An older silvered-haired man named Sakumo. He said that he was your daddy. Naruto smiled. They're always with you wherever you go. They looked worried. Wolf couldn't believe what he was hearing. I can let you talk to them if you want. Maybe you can figure out why they look sad. Naruto offered. See, can you really do that? Wolf tried to reassure himself that this wasn't some trick. But then again, Naruto couldn't have known about Obito and his father. Yes, hold my hand please. Naruto held out his hand and Wolf held it. Now close your eyes. When I tell you to, open them. Wolf nodded and closed his eyes and felt a weird chakra flow through him. Open them. Wolf opened his eyes and saw two transparent ghosts before him. Hey Kakashi, long time no see huh? Obito greeted. Hello son. Sakumo smiled. Obito, dad. Kakashi widened his eyes. Kai, Naruto and the ghost sweat dropped. Obito proceeded to hit Kakashi over the head. Baka, we aren't a genjutsu. Obito reprehended him. Ow, that hurt. Wait a second, if you're ghosts, how are you able to hit me? Kakashi asked as he rubbed head. It's a part of my ability. Naruto explained. Anyways, the reason that Naruto did this was because you hold too many regrets in life son. You should learn not to blame yourself for things weren't your fault. Sakumo said with a sad smile. But I could have saved Obito that day if I'd had known. Kakashi looked to the ground. But that's just it Kakashi, you couldn't have known that I was going to die during the mission. I don't blame you at all. Obito smiled. But on the bright side, I'm always with you because of that eye. I told you that we would see what happens in the future didn't I? Kakashi cheered up. Thank you, you too. And thank you Naruto. I feel like a great weight has been lifted off my chest. And Dad, I never got to tell you, you sacrificed everything for your friends. I can see you are a true hero. I'm proud to be your son. The three smiled while Sakumo was shocked. He gave his son a great hug with tears streaming down his face. Well, would you look at that? I see the light. I can finally move on knowing I relayed my message and hearing those wonderful words. Thank you son. I can finally see your mother now. Sakumo smiled as he disappeared into the heavenly light. I'm glad that my father has finally passed on. Kakashi smiled. But what about you Obito? I just told you. Cause of that I am able to stay here. I'm sticking with you for better or for worse. Besides, who else is going to laugh at you from the shadows and help you with your lame excuses? Seriously, they need a lot of work man. Obito said with a glint in his eye. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Hey Doggy-chan. Naruto pulled on Kakashi's sleeve. Obito snickered at the nickname we wasn't used to yet but stopped when Kakashi sent a glare his way. I can make it that you can talk to him whenever you want. It can be my gift to you for taking me in to the Anbu and saved me the mob of angry people. Naruto cheered. You can do that? Wolf raised a brow. Yes, here you go. Naruto pumped loads of spirit chakra into Kakashi, ultimately giving him the spirit gift. A tattoo appeared on his right shoulder, whatever design you want. Kakashi looked at the tattoo with an eyebrow raised but quickly dismissed it since it was an extremely small price to pay for the gift Naruto gave him. Besides, it was a tattoo just like his Anbu one, so it wasn't even a big deal. There, all done. You can't pass it on to your children or let other people see and touch ghosts, but at least you can talk to ghosts now. Most ghosts that you will find would be in a certain area or around a certain person. They would usually be where they are because they have a bond with that place or person. Get it? Naruto said. Kakashi dumbly nodded and thanked him over and over again. He could see Obito every day now. Thanks Naruto. Now I can rub it in his face that Kakashi is old. Obito laughed as another glare was sent his way. Yay, that's right. I called you old man. Kakashi slumped his shoulders and turning their back to them, pouting like a child, mumbling things like, I'm not old, or, I'm only 19 feet. Naruto and Obito were laughing like crazy. Don't tell anyone about this, okay Doggy-chan? I only want to give this gift to people who truly need it. Naruto explained. Kakashi nodded and thanked him again. Kit, you just unlocked something since you made your first spiritual bond. What is it Q? Hold on a sec Doggy-chan. Kyuubi is saying that because I made a spiritual bond with you allowing you to interact with spirits like me, I've unlocked a new ability, so just a minute. Naruto paused. Kakashi nodded, so Obito and him started to chat while they waited. You and the Scarecrow have the ability to call out your spirit beasts. Spirit beasts? Yep, basically the spiritual bond increases the person's spiritual energy, and that spiritual energy allows one to house a spiritual guardian, aka a spirit beast, because they take the form of animals. Because you have a spiritual bond with the Scarecrow, your spirit beast and his have the ability to do combination attacks, or basically combining two attacks to create a whole new attack with different effects. That is so cool. By the way, you can tell the Scarecrow that kid Obito or whatever can become his spiritual guardian, but he'll have to take an animal form during battle or whenever he is summoned for it to work, and he also has to agree to the idea. Just make him recite the vows. I put full name here, wish for Ghost's full name here, to be my spiritual guardian. Do you accept? And the Ghost kid to recite. I Ghost's name here. Accept the position as a spiritual guardian for the person's name here, and will aid him, her to the best of my abilities whenever she wishes. And make the Ghost kid put his hand over the Scarecrow's after reciting the vows. Okay, thanks Q. Hey, listen to this, Naruto said. Kakashi and Obito gave Naruto his full attention while Naruto explained the concept of having a spirit beast and how they can work together. Wow, it puts a whole new level of teamwork into the ranks with this ability. Kakashi exclaimed, even happier that he made the spirit bond with Naruto, while Obito nodded. And the best part is that Obito can become your spiritual guardian. Naruto cheered. What? Kakashi and Obito shouted. I can become his spirit guardian. Obito said, while Kakashi said, he can become my spirit guardian. They both said this at the same time. Yeah. That's what I just said. Naruto deadpanned. How? They both said. Okay, sheesh. Naruto sighed and told them about having Obito as his spirit beast, like how he had to take an animal form when summoned and the vows they would have to recite in order for the bond to be created. They took their stances and recited them. I, Hitaki Kakashi, wish for Uchiha Obito to be my spiritual guardian. Do you accept? Kakashi vowed. I, Uchiha Obito, accept the position as a spiritual guardian for Hitaki Kakashi and will aid him to the best of my abilities whenever he wishes. Obito vowed, and put their hands together. Then a seal appeared over Obito's and Kakashi's hand, again, up to you what it looks like, and transparent white chains erupted from the seal wrapping around their arms, chaining them together. The chains glowed in a warm light before disappearing. Obito gained a silver bangle that was positioned on his right arm, while Kakashi's tattoo glowed and changed its color to silver but keeping the same design. There, now you guys are spiritually bonded. Naruto chimed. So, how do I summon Obito to battle? Kakashi said in a happy tone, knowing that his best friend will be able to fight alongside with him. Just make the Scarecrow focus a spark of chakra to the tattoo and say the kid's name, either mentally or verbally, it doesn't matter. And tell the kid if he wants to summon himself without the Scarecrow's permission, all he has to do is to focus his own chakra to the bangle. He's able to access his own now because of the bond. The better he is in battle, the more chakra he is able to use, so basically he has to train like everybody else to increase their reserves. Just tell them to repeat the same action if they want to recall the kid back into his ghost form to rest or something. By the way, only those with the ability of the spirits like you and the Scarecrow can understand what spirit beasts are saying, so when the kid is in his beast form, which reflects who he is by heart, only you or the Scarecrow and understand what he says if he talks. The ghost kid can only have two elemental affinities, his own main one when he was alive, which should be fire because of his family, and the Scarecrow's. Naruto explained how and the abilities of spirit beasts. Obito was relieved he could summon himself just in case Kakashi couldn't, if he's unconscious or something like that, and Kakashi relaxed as well. They were especially surprised by the fact that Obito could access his chakra because he bonded with Kakashi and the fact about his elemental affinities. Kakashi summoned Obito by saying his name and putting a minute amount of chakra into the tattoo, which glowed along with Obito's bangle for a brief moment. Obito was sucked into Kakashi's chest and expelled in front of him in a bolt of fire and electricity, revealing a very large pure black wolf with an onyx eye and the other with a scar like Kakashi's running over it. The silver bangle shining brightly in the sunlight on his right arm. Obito in wolf form, on all fours, was up to Kakashi's shoulders in height. Whoa! All three of them said and marveled at Obito's spirit beast form. I look so cool, Obito said and started to run around the area. A wolf is his heart's true form, huh? The wolf symbolizes loyalty to comrades. Very fitting of you, Obito. Kakashi smiled as he saw Obito continue to run around the area in his wolf form, breathing in fresh air and interacting with the living world for the first time in years since his death. Wow, he looks big enough for you to ride Doggy-chan. Naruto grinned. Seriously, I wasn't expecting him to be this big. Kakashi said as he watched Obito, genuinely happy bonding with him gave him freedom like this. Does it consume chakra for him to be out of his ghost form? Nope, the kid naturally draws spiritual energy from the environment, so as long as the scarecrow doesn't recall him, or if the kid runs out of chakra or is too wounded, he can stay out as long as he wants. Naruto relayed what the Kyuubi told him and Kakashi nodded and was glad that there wasn't a limit as long as those scenarios didn't happen. Why don't you summon your spirit beast kit? And no, it can't be me. You have to wait until you're older to handle the amount of spirit energy I have. Plus, it's overkill for me to battle others. But don't worry, your bloodline allows you to house 5 spirit beasts, so one spot is for me for when you're older. You can summon your first one now, but don't try and summon another. Your body can't handle it yet. So just say, I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Now it's my turn to summon a spirit beast. Naruto said. Kakashi and Obito stopped and watched Naruto. I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Naruto shouted and was encased in a bright light, and from his chest erupted a beam of golden fire, and from the fire emerged a large golden lion with a dark gold mane and sky blue eyes. The beast was as big as Obito. All three stared at it wide-eyed. Why do you desire my power, Naruto? The lion asked, staring down at Naruto. I want your power because I need it to become Hokage so I can protect my precious people. And have everyone acknowledge me for who I am, not for whom I contain. Naruto shouted his pure honest answer. The lion continued to stare at Naruto as if to see he was lying, then gently smiled. You are honest and true to your resolution of heart. I accept you as my master. Not master, a friend. Naruto smiled brightly. Kakashi and Obito grinned as if they knew what he was going to say. A friend. I will aid you through any obstacle as long as you stay true to the resolution you have. Name me if you wish. How about Seryoku? Naruto suggested. Might, strength? Yes, I like that name. Seryoku nodded. Kakashi and Obito liked the name also. As your spirit beast you may call me out whenever you wish for my aid. Seryoku said and retreated back into Naruto in a form of golden flames. Should Tiger be in on this? Kakashi asked as he leaned on Obito. Okay, let's go kidnap Tiger. Naruto chimed. Kakashi and Obito had a glint in their eye and smirked. Obito? Kakashi asked. Let's do it. Obito grinned, showing his sharp canines, then retreated back into Kakashi and turned back into his ghost form. Kakashi then grabbed Naruto and sunshined into the Anbu HQ. Anbu HQ. Tiger was having a chat with Kat, then Naruto and Kakashi sunshined into the lounge. Naruto tackled Tiger to the floor, then Kakashi proceeded to bound Tiger with ninja wire while Naruto ripped off his mask, during his confusion gagged him and bound his ankles together with more ninja wire. Then Kakashi hoisted the struggling Anbu member onto his shoulder. Obito was rolling on the floor laughing during the entire time. Then Naruto grabbed Kakashi's free hand and sunshined in the middle of the forest of death. What just happened? Kat asked no one in particular. I think Tiger was kidnapped by Wolf and Naruto. Monkey deadpanned. Meh. All the Anbu that witnessed the event just shrugged it off like it was a daily occurrence. The forest of death. The trio and one ghost arrived in the forest. Kakashi dropped Tiger, who was still struggling to get free. Naruto untied him and Tiger took the cloth that was gagging him out of his mouth. What the hell was that for? Tiger shouted at them. We wanted to let you in on our little secret. Kakashi explained. Tiger immediately put the kidnapping back in his mind as he dusted off his pants. Well, it's like this. Naruto started and explained everything about the spiritual bonding to the ability of the spirit beasts. So, we wanted to ask if you want to make a bond with me. Naruto offered. If you wanted to talk about this you didn't have to kidnap me. Tiger scolded them, but it wouldn't be as fun. Kakashi pouted as Obito laughed while Naruto nodded. Geez. Yeah sure, I'd love to make a spiritual bond with you Naruto. Kit, I forgot to tell you something, when you make a spiritual bond with another person, you will have the ability to sense where they are. It's not completely accurate, but it gives a good range of where they are. Also you can summon each other, just focus on one or more people with the spiritual bond while sending enough chakra to the tattoo. As long as the person who is being summoned agrees, poof. There they are. Okay, thanks Q. Naruto relayed the new information to them. That's an interesting. Very useful if we are captured. Kakashi muttered. Yeah, it gives me the ability to find you when you're late too. Tiger smiled. Ah, Kakashi mumbled while Obito snickered. Anyways, let's make the bond now. Naruto said and held out his hand. Tiger took his hand and felt a strange chakra enter him and a tattoo appeared on his left shoulder, though the pattern was different than Kakashi's. Up to you what it looks like. Yours is different than mine, Kakashi said as he held out his right shoulder with the tattoo. I guess it's different for everyone, Naruto said. Was UP? Obito greeted Tiger. Tiger jumped in surprise to see the transparent form of Obito. Is this your friend Wolf-senpai? Tiger asked. Yup. He's also my spiritual guardian. He transforms into a spirit beast when he is summoned like so. Kakashi explained and summoned Obito in his wolf form. Well, it's nice to meet you too. I'm sure you already know my name. Tiger nodded, covering his slight shock at the size of Obito's form. Well, enough with the introductions. Let's see what spirit beast you summon. Naruto shouted. I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Tiger shouted. From his chest erupted green light and took the form of a large stag. It was a pure white with sapphire eyes, the antlers were golden. From its shoulder it was as tall as Obito standing on all fours. How beautiful! Tiger complimented from the stag's beauty. Why do you wish for my power Tenzo? The stag questioned him. I wish for your power to help and protect those I care for. Tenzo answered without hesitation. The stag stared at him for a moment. You are honest and true to your resolution of heart. I accept you as my master. The stag bowed before Tenzo. You may name me as you see fit. Tenzo thought for a moment. I'll name you Hayashi, Woods or Forest. I like that name. I shall aid and serve you as long as you stay true to the resolution you have presented me. Hayashi vowed and disappeared into Tenzo's chest. You guys might want to train with your spirit beasts. Rushing into battle without knowing what they can do is just plain stupid. Kyuubi says we should train with our spirit beast so we know their abilities. Naruto suggested. Good idea. Kakashi agreed. Seryoku, Naruto summoned and a golden lion appeared. Whoa, so that's your spirit beast? Tenzo asked. Yup. Naruto nodded and climbed onto Seryoku's back, riding him. Hayashi. Tenzi called and the white stage burst forth. You called master? The stag asked. We need to get to know each other's abilities. Tenzo said and Hayashi nodded. Very well. I'll go first. Seryoku joined in. My current abilities are, Call of the Wild, is the ability for me to summon a pride of lions to aid us in battle. Roar of Courage, increases all nearby allies who hears it attack power by 30% temporarily. Bestial Wrath, in which I go berserk. My fur turns red and I grow larger in size. My attack power increases by 30% for about 2 minutes. This also affects you Naruto. You will feel the power increase but you will become more beast-like in character. Feral Form. Fire, which makes my mane, tail, eyes, and paws become fire. This allows me to utilize my fire techniques to its full potential but costs a good amount of chakra. Gears of War, which gives me battle armor to help protect myself. I also have a saddle on my back if you wish to ride on my back. Prowl, allows me to go stealth or basically become invisible and hide my presence. Though not perfect, it is still very good. I have the basic fire techniques such as Fire Bolt, Fire Blast, Fire Nova, and Molten Claws. Cool, Naruto cheered. As for me, Hayashi continued, I have Call of the Forest. This restores 30% of all nearby allies' chakra. Spirit Barrier, which creates a barrier to protect allies within. It absorbs a set amount of damage before it is broken. Stampede, is when I multiply myself and charge to create a stampede. Nature's Grace, increases my abilities of the earth element. I will have a green aura around me. I also have Gears of War. I have the basic earth abilities such as Tremor, Earth Bolt, Entangling Roots, and Thorn Maze. The restoration of chakra? Tenzo sputtered. My turn, my turn. Obito barked. You know your abilities? Kakashi asked. Yeah, they just kinda came to me, you know? When I first went into this wolf form. Obito said. And you didn't tell me? Kakashi glared. You didn't ask. Obito deadpanned and Kakashi slapped his forehead. Well, go on. Kakashi urged him. I can do Furious Howl, which summons wolves to help us, kinda like your Ninken Kakashi. Aspect of the pack, which increases our speed and agility by 30% temporarily. I also have Bestial Wrath and Feral Form, Fire or Feral Form, Lightning, whichever you need, even the ability Gears of War. I got the same basic fire abilities as Seryoku, but my lightning abilities are Lightning Bolt, Thunder Fang, Lightning Storm, and Lightning Armor. Wow, Naruto has the ability to increase attack power. I have the ability to restore chakra, and Wolf has the ability to increase speed and agility. It's as if we were made to be a team. Tenzo remarked. Naruto and Kakashi thought about this and thought this was true. After that they all went off to train with their spirit beasts. Kakashi and Tenzo taught Naruto how to the tree walking and water walking exercise. Awakening his bloodlines helped with his terrible control, so he was able to master them a lot quicker. I guess we should let Gigi know about this, huh? Naruto said. Yeah, I guess. Kakashi muttered. It would be wise, this way, we can go as a three-man team together on missions more often. Tenzo said. I guess you're right about that. Kakashi sighed. They all recalled their spirit beasts and Obito returned to his ghost form. What a good workout. Obito stretched. We were able to perform effective combo attacks. Tenzo smiled and nodded. Let's go, Naruto said as he tugged on Tenzo's leg. Then they shunshined into the Hokage's office. Hokage's office. Sarutobi sensed visitors and Naruto, Kakashi, and Tenzo appeared. 2 visits in one day? Alright, what happened this time? Sarutobi asked. Well, it's like this, Gigi. Naruto started and explained everything. Wow, Sarutobi stuttered. May I see them? And they nodded. Obito. Kakashi summoned and Obito transformed into his wolf form. Seryoku. Naruto called and the large golden lion appeared. Hayashi. Tenzo shouted and a large white stag burst forth. Hello. All 3 beasts said at the same time. Whoa. Well, considering the information you told me, I'm going to give you a choice. I can create a specialized and secretive team just for spirit beast holders. Of course, to prevent that retarded council from forcing Naruto to use his abilities to have more beast holders. This is going to be an S-class secret. And this team will work for me and me alone. That all right with you? Sarutobi suggested. Sure, they all said lazily. I'll name this team Team Tyra, Great Spirit. Team Tyra is now fully operational and will only take missions from me and me alone. Is this acceptable? Sarutobi asked. I like that. That sounds so cool. Naruto cheered. The adults chuckled. Well, I'll let you do your own thing for now. Take these cloaks, you can design your team symbol on them and your names and mask will be designed after your spirit beast. Since Naruto's is a lion, his mask and codename will be Lion, so here. Dismissed. Sarutobi said as he handed them cloaks and masks for them. Instead of red markings like traditional Anbu had on their masks, theirs was blue. Hey wait, don't you want a spiritual bond, Gigi? Naruto offered. Are you sure, Naruto? Sarutobi asked, slightly surprised. Sure, Naruto said and grabbed his hand and pumped spiritual chakra into him. Sarutobi felt the chakra enter him and a tattoo appeared on his right forearm. Now just say the words Gigi. Naruto smiled. I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Sarutobi called and a burst of orange light appeared. It took of a large brown bear. Why do you wish for my power, Hiruzen? The bear asked. It is my duty as the Hokage to sustain the will of fire and protect the village. Sarutobi answered. Is your duty as the Hokage the only reason? The bear questioned. No, I want to protect this village like my predecessors. I protect it because of my family and precious ones. Hiruzen stated. The bear continued to look at Sarutobi. You are honest and loyal to your resolution of heart. I accept you as my master. The bear said. You may name me as you wish. Hashirama, after the first Hokage, my sensei. Sarutobi said. As you wish. Hashirama said and bowed. My abilities are Roar of Sacrifice, It nullifies all damage to you for 1 minute and transfers 30% of the total damage taken towards me. Bash, which I bash an enemy with some electricity to temporarily stun them. Bestial Wrath, and Feral Form, my paws are coated with fire. My eyes become fire. I have 2 runed bracers on my arms and a spiked collar around my neck. Gears of War, gives me battle armor, a saddle for you to ride on. My basic fire abilities are Fire Bolt, Fire Blast, Fire Nova, and Molten Claws. He then disappeared into Sarutobi. Thank you Naruto, anyways, you're dismissed. Sarutobi smiled. The trio shunshined off. A year later, Team Tyra only had a few missions, though Naruto couldn't come on the high-ranking ones, he was only allowed on CB ranks at best. His training was coming along nicely, he helped many Anbu members with their injuries, so they ended up just making a medical ward in the Anbu HQ. So basically, Anbu had their own hospital and medics. Sarutobi thought that he should have done this earlier, it prevented identities of Anbu being discovered and covered other secrets. Naruto was in charge of a branch in the emergency care ward, he was in charge of the flesh injuries and wounds branch. Anbu could be administered into the branch's operation room and be immediately cared for. I tell you, that kid, Naruto, is a godsend. The boy helped me out with the crushed leg. Thought I would have to retire, no normal medic could repair it. An Anbu with a boar mask said, I know, I thought I was a goner with some parts of my organs missing. The regular medics could only hold off the bleeding until I got to the operation room. Then the kid comes out and restores everything to perfect health. If he wasn't there, I know I would have died. I owe the kid my life. Another Anbu with a hawk mask told him. I remember being on a mission with him. I thought he was just gonna slow us down, when Hokage-sama insisted on him coming, saying that even though we are just getting rid of some stray nuke nins, that they were demolition types. I thought the kid was going to get killed. The kid, cause of his height, couldn't keep up that well with us, though his speed is at least Chunin level. Then the kid calls out this huge ass lion and rides it beside us. The mission is all good, then I accidentally step on a mine trigger, blowing my leg to bits. Then he lands right beside me and says, I reject, or something, and regenerates a whole new leg for me. I was totally dumbfounded and finally understood why Hokage-sama made him come with us. An Anbu with a horse mask joined in, and the conversation continues with more Anbu saying what happened to them. In Anbu Lounge, looks like Naru-chan is getting popular. Kakashi smiled. Can you blame them? Naruto is a savior to more than half the Anbu enlisted in the ranks. He's easy to get along with too. The Anbu like him so much that some of them started to teach Naruto some of their techniques and styles. Naruto even made a spiritual bond with Anko, Cobra. I shoulda known she would have had Big Snake as her spirit beast. She even named it Basilisk. What element was it again? Tenzo asked. It was a water type one think. I was nearly hit with one of its acid bullets once. The acid melted through the wall. Kakashi shuddered. Anko was absolutely giddy when she found out that Basilisk could use poison and venom, said that made her life as an interrogator a lot more fun. Tenzo shuddered. Then again she was even happier that holding a spirit beast purified her curse seal, thus getting rid of it. Then the spiritual bonding tattoo appeared where the curse seal used to be. Guys, shouldn't you be teaching him or something? Obito suddenly joined in. Tenzo and Kakashi started. Well, it's Anko's turn today. Tenzo paled. Ha 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 ha. She used you as targets for demonstrations last time you guys went, didn't she? Obito laughed. Yeah, I ain't going. Kakashi stated. Anyways, did you master the technique you've been working on? Duh. I got the ability, Fire Shield, down. I'm also got, Immolation, mastered too. My chakra capacity tripled since last time. Volt Tackle, is mastered too. Obito declared. So, did Hayashi master anything new? Yes, me and him worked on a very powerful ability, finally mastered it. It's called, Nature's War Cry. It brings nearby trees and plants to life and attacks all enemies within range. We've also increased the power of his basic attacks, helping him increase his reserves. Tenzo answered. Yikes. Kakashi surprised. Team Tyra, I summon you Sarutobi. Well, looks like we are needed. Tenzo said. Yep, let's go. Kakashi nodded, and they both allowed themselves to be summoned by Sarutobi, disappearing from where they were standing in burst of golden light. Anbu training grounds. You hear that, Gaki? Anko asked Naruto. Yeah, looks like Gigi needs us. Naruto said, and they both also disappeared in a burst of golden light. Hokage office. All four of them appeared in a puff of smoke. What you need, Gigi? Naruto asked. Well, I thought about your idea and decided that you could go through with it, Naruto. The incident with Kumo is heavy on one of the candidates though. Sarutobi said. Alright, Naruto cheered. Can someone fill us in? Kakashi asked. Oh sorry, you see, I found out that 2 Hyuga children were good candidates to our team. Naruto answered. The heiress, Hyuga Hinata, and a branch member, Hyuga Neji. I see, adding to our little family Gaki? Anko grinned. Yup, Naruto chimed. Let's go, and darted out the window, breaking it. Yahoo! And you could see him jumping across the roofs in the distance. Everyone's sweat dropped. Doesn't anyone here know how to use the door? Sarutobi grumbled. You know what? Screw the rules, I'm the Hokage. And jumped out the same window. The three left in the room, sweat dropped again. They sighed and followed their leader. Hyuga compound. They arrived at the entrance and were greeted by guards. They went in and met up with Hyuga Hiashi, Hinata, and Neji. What is this meeting about, Hokage-sama, if it concerns my daughter and nephew? Hiashi asked politely. He was really curious because he was asked to put up a privacy jutsu in the room. Please do not repeat this to anyone as it is a S-class secret, understand? Sarutobi said seriously. The Hyugas stiffened and nodded. Well, the Anbu you see behind me are part of a secret squad, answering only to me. They are wolf, stag, lion, and snake, and your daughter and nephew are perfect candidates to join. But Naruto here is the founder. He will explain everything now. Sarutobi said, and Naruto took over explaining everything. I see, this is a great honor, do you two accept? Hiashi asked Neji and Hinata. Why yes father, I would love to join. Hinata stuttered. Yes, Hiashi-sama, though I had to tell you that the bird cage seal will be purified during the ritual, meaning that it will get rid of it for good. Naruto said. They widened their eyes. It doesn't matter, it's a good thing actually. Who knows what the elders would do to Neji when they find out about this. I was hoping to find a way to get rid of that stupid seal. Hiashi sighed. I forgot to tell you Neji, there's a ghost that looks like a copy of Hiashi-sama that's attached to you. Do you know him? Naruto wondered. Tenzo, Anko, Kakashi, and Sarutobi noticed that too but waited for Naruto to say it. The Hyugas gasped at that. Take my hands, I will let you talk to him. Naruto said and held out his hands. They grabbed it and felt a foreign chakra enter their systems. The ghost became visible to them. Neji, why did you become like this? I wanted you to be happy. Why have you grown bitterness in your heart? The ghost asked. Hisashi. Hiashi started. Dad. Neji cried out and hugged his father. Neji, I sacrificed myself for the sake of the village and your safety, please understand that. My brother tried to stop me but I insisted, if I was sacrificed, the Byakugan would be safe and so would my brother. As his brother, I felt the need to protect him, don't blame your uncle for this. Hisashi smiled sadly. I promise Dad. I'm sorry Hiashi-sama. Neji sniffed. It's alright, I understand what you saw. Hiashi smiled. Please protect him from those corrupt elders, brother. Hisashi requested. Of course, you have saved my life. But what really matters is that you're my brother, family should always help each other out. Hiashi promised. Thank you, I can see it, the light. I have no more regrets. Goodbye Neji. I love you. Hisashi honestly smiled and faded away. Neji was trying to stop his tears. After a minute or so, he stopped. Neji, Hinata, and Hiashi-sama. Take my hand again so I can make the bond. Naruto said. Me as well? Hiashi gasped. I know you won't abuse it. I can see it. Your soul, it is bright. I can tell you are a very good person at heart. You are worthy as well. Naruto smiled. They took his hand and felt a large amount of strange chakra flow into their bodies. A tattoo appeared on Hinata's left hand, Neji's right hand, and Hiashi's appeared on his left hand as well. Neji took off the bandages covering his forehead to reveal the caged bird seal completely gone without a trace. He grinned. Hiashi-sama, why don't you go first? Naruto said. I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Hiashi called. A large lynx slightly smaller than Seryoku appeared in a burst of white light. Why do you wish for my power, Hiashi? The lynx said calmly. I wish for the power to protect my family and remove the burden of the branch members. Hiyashi replied truthfully. The lynx narrowed its eyes. You are most honest and true to this resolution. I accept you as my master so long you stay true to the resolution you have presented me. The lynx bowed. You may name me as you wish. Hisashi, after my brother who saved my life. Hiyashi smiled. I am honored to be named after your brother and savior. I shall tell you of my abilities in the evening. Hisashi bowed again and disappeared into Hiyashi. Your turn, Hinata-chan, Naruto said. I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Hinata said, managing not to stutter. A white lioness that was the same size as Hisashi burst forth in a torrent of crystal clear water. Why do you wish for my power, Hinata? The lioness asked. I want to change myself. I want to be a respected and honorable clan leader to forever change the corrupt ways of the Hyuga clan. I need to do this to protect my family and also my friends. Hinata shouted. You have honorable goals, young one. You're pure of heart and do not lie. I accept you as my master. The lioness said and bowed. Name me as you wish. Yuki, it means bravery, valor, courage, and snow. It's perfect for you. Hinata smiled. I love it, thank you. Yuki said and disappeared into Hinata. Neji, you're up. Naruto grinned. Neji nodded. I call forth my destined spirit beast. Neji yelled. A shining sky blue falcon appeared in a burst of electricity. The falcon was large enough for him to ride on. Why do you wish for my power, Neji? The falcon looked down upon Neji. I wish for the power to aid my friends and family in achieving their goals and dreams to make the future a better place. Neji stated with resolve. The falcon continued to look down upon Neji for a moment. I accept your resolve to help others with their goals. A noble one indeed. I accept you as my master as long as you do not stray away from the resolution you have present me. The falcon landed in front of Neji and bowed. Name me as you wish. Saikuron, it means cyclone. Neji said. A fitting name. I look forward to serving you, master, for many years to come. Saikuron said and disappeared into Neji. I hereby instate you three as part of Team Tyra. Here are your cloaks with the team symbol designed on them, and you can pick up your new masks next week at my office. Hiyashi's shall be lynx, Neji will be falcon, and Hinata is lioness. After explaining the need to train and getting to know them, the Hokage mumbled and said that he had paperwork to do. This left the team to properly introduce themselves. They decided to go to Training Ground 2 for privacy. Kakashi helped Neji with his spirit beast because it was also a lightning type like Obito. Tenzo helped Hiyashi since Hisashi was an earth type. Anko helped Hinata since Yuki was a water type. It was a great surprise to everyone that Yuki was able to do ice techniques, though since ice was a sub-element, Yuki wasn't able to harbor it to its full potential. They also found out that Yuki was more a support type, since she had the ability to heal wounds to a certain degree. They parted ways after a few hours of training. 3 years later, Naruto was 10 years old. Team Tyra was going along nicely. They trained greatly with their spirit partners, learning new techniques and mastering old ones with more efficiency. There were rumors flying around the ninja ranks and the civilian population. They were talking about an elite specialized team working directly and only under the Hokage that had a 99% mission success rate. The council, well, the civilian half actually, demanded to know the identities of the team and wanted them to share their secrets with them, especially Danzo. Wanted to know the source of power. All rumors stating that they could summon large beasts that were not from summoning contracts to aid them in battle, using techniques that were never seen before. They even got wind of Naruto's healing bloodline and demanded him to submit and go under the CRA, Clan Restoration Act, which instated that he at least had to have 3 wives, each bearing 2 children, but the Hokage and the clan heads, especially Hiyashi, were revolted that they wanted to turn him into breeding stock for the sake of his bloodline and downright refused immediately, stating that the civilian council had no power over the ninja population and that they were overstepping their boundaries. Naruto didn't find anyone he could trust to add to the team, though they didn't really care. Anko was having too much fun with interrogation when Basilisk learned how to do special genjutsu and also learned how to summon snake minions, each with a different venom with different effects. Obito and Kakashi were in almost perfect synchronization for teamwork. It was even better when Naruto with Seryoku and Tenzo with Hayashi joined the fray. The three were the team's main battle force as their teamwork and combination attacks were practically flawless. Hinata proved to be the team's back support as she studied medical jutsu along with Naruto, though since his chakra control wasn't good enough on that, he mostly learned about medical herbs, antidotes, medicines, poisons, and the human anatomy. Hinata learned all that along with medical techniques. Naruto's training was coming along nicely. It was around the level of low-mid Chunin level. He mastered several styles that Kyuubi taught him while Kakashi, Tenzo, and Hiyashi pointed out his mistakes and openings. Hinata gained more confidence in herself and created her own style of Jukin. Her style was to be as graceful as water and to flow smoothly like a river. This needed great flexibility because it looked like she was dancing around her enemies. With this style along with chakra scalpels, she turned out to be a very deadly opponent. Neji stopped being stiff and started to show more joyful emotions. He bore no more hatred towards Hiyashi and Hinata, but still disliked the arrogant pricks of the main branch. Kakashi and Tenzo retired from Anbu and returned to being regular Chunin. They felt like they needed a break from all the dangerous high-class missions. They were even considering taking a genin team, which Obito pointed out that they would definitely be spoiled brats. So they were wondering if it was worth it. Naruto was still greatly needed by the Anbu ranks as pretty much all the Anbu protested against him leaving HQ, seeing how one way or another, they were healed by him, a friend or teammate's life was saved because of him, a mission would have failed if it weren't for him, and other reasons. In the end they gave Naruto a special seal that was tattooed on the back of his neck. The seal let Naruto know whenever he was needed at HQ because of an emergency, since the Hokage could just summon him for a mission, which they agreed that he would only go if they absolutely needed him. With all the money Kakashi, Tenzo, and Naruto saved over the years, they bought themselves a nice house, seeing how they were so used to living together. Tenzo pointed out he could have just made one, but they said that it would lack appliances, electricity, and plumbing. In Hokage office, Sarutobi was thinking about this decision for a long time. It wasn't healthy for Naruto to only spend time with adults, with the exception of Obito, Neji, and Hinata. He thought that Naruto should interact with more kids his age. Sending him on high-class missions was not healthy for any 10-year-old. He sent a signal via the spirit bond to summon Kakashi, Tenzo, and Naruto. The trio poofed into the office in front of Sarutobi. "Why did you summon us, Gigi?" Naruto asked. "Well, Naruto, I want you to attend the academy," Sarutobi said and covered his ears waiting for his outburst. Kakashi and Tenzo did as well. "Say what?" Naruto shouted. "Why? I'm already a Chunin. I don't want to go to an academy full of spoiled brats, fangirls, and arrogant pricks with 10-foot poles up their asses." The Anbu hidden in the room along with Tenzo and Kakashi were snickering at the remark. But he has a point there. Kakashi and Tenzo thought. "No buts, Naruto, you need to interact with more people your age besides Hinata and Neji. This will be an undercover mission. You will be in the same class as the clan heirs, we need to keep them safe," Sarutobi said sternly, though was somewhat inwardly agreeing with Naruto. "Tch, fine." Naruto mumbled. "Great, you'll be entered into their class starting tomorrow," Sarutobi said while making the proper documents. "But at least make one of them my Chunin sensei. If I'm going to do this, I'm gonna need some help covering my abilities if I show them by accident," Naruto said while pointing to Kakashi and Tenzo, who really didn't mind. It gave them something to do and they were already his senseis, so they had no problem with it. "I guess you have a point there, alright." Sarutobi nodded. Dismissed. And they jumped out the open window. "The door exists for a reason," Sarutobi shouted after them. He got laughs in return and started mumbling, "No manners," or, "Always the window." The Anbu sweat dropped. Market area. They ate lunch at the ramen stand and went through the marketplace, just chatting and browsing wares. The conversation they were having was drowned out by the crowd of people, who of which were mostly couples. "So Naruto, I heard that you have another spirit beast partner. Mind telling us about it?" Kakashi asked. "How did you know? I was going to surprise you." Naruto leered. "I felt another presence within you, buddy. As a spiritual guardian myself as well as a ghost, I can kinda sense these things. I can feel the Kyuubi and Seryoku, but who's the third?" Obito mentioned. "Didn't think Ghost Kid could sense those things." "Same here. Well, he's a wind spirit beast. His name is Kurigane. He's a pure black griffin. He's pretty big. He can fly too. It's so cool flying up in the sky. I'll take you guys for a ride next time. He can carry up to 3 people, that's what he said at least. He came to me in a dream asking if I wished for its power and why. I told him and he accepted me like Seryoku. Naruto explained. The two were impressed and slightly jealous that he could fly but glad that Kurogane could carry up to 3 people with no problem. Any new abilities we should know of? Tenzo asked. Naruto explained Kurogane's abilities to them. They listened with their full attention. Guys, have you noticed that there are a lot of couples today? Obito said, slightly nervous about it. Now that you mention it. Kakashi muttered and looked around. He was right, there were much more couples than normal, and even being more intimate in public. Tenzo covered Naruto's eyes when they passed a couple making out much too passionately for him to see, considering they haven't had the talk with Naruto properly, as they decided he should hit puberty first. Huh? What's going on, Tenzo-Nisan? Naruto asked, confused on why his eyes were being covered. Nothing you need to see or know about yet, Naruto. Tenzo replied and took off his hands after they weren't in sight anymore. Okay, Naruto said as they passed more stores with a lot of pink and red decorations. Hey kid, I got a bad feeling. Naruto wondered what Kyuubi was talking about until he just remembered something. Hey guys, ain't today Valentine's Day? Kakashi stopped dead in his tracks. What's wrong? Naruto asked and tilted his head. Kakashi-senpai? Tenzo wondered. Kaya, a girl in her late teens, screamed. I found him, girls. It's Hitaki Kakashi. They jumped at the sudden loud noise and turned around to look behind them. No way. Where? Another girl shouted. There he is. One more yelled. Soon a whole mob of girls appeared, all wearing a pin or t-shirt or an armband that said the Hitaki Kakashi Fan Club. They all ranged from their preteens to late 20s and even a couple of early 30s. All of them holding gifts. Kakashi-sama. They chorused and darted after him. Oh shit. Kakashi shouted. Come back, Kakashi-sama. One screamed. We love you, Kakashi-sama. Another shouted. We'll show you a good time, Kakashi-sama. A girl yelled. Run away. Kakashi shouted and they ran for it. Wait, if they're your fangirls, why am I running away too? Tenzo said as he was running alongside Naruto and Kakashi. Look, it's Tenzo-sama. A girl with an armband that said, the Yamato Tenzo Fan Club, shouted. It really is him. Another girl with the pin that said the same thing screamed. Kya, Tenzo-sama, wait for us. The leader shouted and shot after him along with the rest of the members of the Tenzo Fan Club. Both fan clubs were a mix of ninjas and civilians and were chasing after them at shocking speeds. Tenzo-sama, marry me, a girl proposed. Don't run away, Tenzo-sama. A girl yelled. Can't you see how much we love you, Tenzo-sama? The leader screamed. That's why. Kakashi deadpanned and increased his speed along with Naruto, leaving him slightly behind. Oh my god. Tenzo shouted and ran frantically away from his fan club, whom he didn't know had existed until today. Sure, he had noticed some girls giggling and blushing when he was around but just shrugged it off, but now he knew why. Go go go! Kakashi yelled in desperation because the girls were catching up. Time for our escape. Plan E. Guys, go with Plan E. Naruto told them. They nodded and went through their holsters for the items Naruto supplied them with when he had started inventing some new ninja tools as a hobby. Flashback. Naruto, what are you doing? Kakashi asked him. Naruto turned 8 recently and took an interest in inventing new things ever since he started to learn about seals. He found out he had a talent for it because of his creativity. He created many new ninja tools that were highly effective and were now being produced and sold in all the ninja supply stores because they were now regularly used by all ranks of ninja. He produced shuriken and kunai bombs, specialized stink bombs that erased scent instead of creating it, and other things. Right now he was working on something new. Creating a new ninja tool. I thought of it the other day, this is going to be a hit. I know it. Naruto grinned. And done. Naruto said and held out what looked like a smoke bomb but was slightly larger, pure black instead of white, and had a seal design on it. What's it do? Kakashi asked, very interested. His other inventions were highly useful and many Anbu and other ninja talked about his inventions when they first were introduced. Least to say that Naruto's new hobby was highly appreciated by many ninja. It's a flash bomb with a sound seal. It created a high-pitched noise that disorients the senses and blinds the enemy at the same time. I gotta go get this approved by Gigi. Take this and show it to everyone else. Just channel a bit of chakra into it and chuck it in the air. I suggest you get down on your stomach, and the moment you do, cover your ears and close your eyes, unless you want to feel the effects, that is. Naruto smirked and handed one to Kakashi and shunshined away. Kakashi managed to gather all available Anbu and Chunin into Training Ground 13. What's this about? A random Chunin asked. Well, it seems like Naruto invented a new toy for us to play with. Kakashi grinned. The gathered ninja were chattering excitedly. Well, here we go. Kakashi's eyes smiled. He took out a black ball, channeled a bit of chakra like Naruto said, and chucked it high above the gathered ninjas' heads, and they all looked up at it wondering what it was going to do. Kakashi quickly got on his stomach like he was told and quickly covered his ears and closed his eyes. Even with his closed eyes he could see a bright light shine through his eyelids. A soft ringing sound hung in the air and he opened his eyes, deeming himself safe from harm, only to see all the gathered ninja blinded and struggling to stand up straight, only to fall down again from lack of sense of balance. A few moments later everyone seemed to have recovered from the effects. I am totally going to buy these when they come out in stores. Anbu stated. The rest of the ninja were muttering agreements and other things, seemingly too excited about how effective these would be during missions to have cared what had just occurred. A few weeks later, the newly dubbed Sonic Flash Bombs were being sold in all ninja stores and were being bought very quickly by ninja of every rank. Naruto, Kakashi, Tenzo, and Obito came up with new plans and tactics for future missions, had created Plan E. Emergency escape. Throw a Sonic Flash Bomb when enemies are blinded, have Obito cast Aspect of the Pack to run away while pumping chakra into the legs to increase speed, while Naruto created cage bushins and hanged into them, distracting enemies when the bushins scattered while they escaped. Flashback end. The trio got ready. Naruto and Tenzo threw Sonic Flash Bombs at the fangirls. The bombs went off, incapacitating every single fangirl, including a few unlucky bystanders in the area. Kakashi quickly summoned Obito. Obito quickly casted Aspect of the Pack on them, while Naruto created hanged cage bushins to lead them away when they regained their senses. The boys quickly bolted across the roofs in the direction of their house. The girls quickly darted after the bushins and cried out when they grabbed them with a tackle. They dispelled in a puff of smoke. Ah! Kakashi-sama got away. A girl cried. Tenzo-sama too. Another shrieked. We were so close. Another sighed. They can't be far. Find them, a girl suggested, and they all darted off in hopes of finding them. At home. We got away. Phew. Tenzo panted. Obito was laughing his ass off, rolling on the ground, clutching his sides. Damn fangirls. The same thing happened last year, but there's more of them now. Kakashi muttered. I can't believe you two have a fan club. Naruto laughed. Shut up. Kakashi and Tenzo mumbled. The next day, Naruto woke up, ate breakfast and got ready to go to the academy. Hold on Naruto, I'm coming with you. Tenzo said. Short Tenzo Nissan. Naruto said. Have a good day Naru-chan. Try not to show off your abilities or get in trouble, okay? Kakashi smiled and patted Naruto's head. I won't Kakashi-nichan. Geez, you guys are sounding like my parents. Naruto rolled his eyes. We're your older brothers. We have been looking after you since you were 5, remember? Tenzo corrected. Yeah. Naruto mumbled. Kakashi Oji-chan. Obito shouted playfully while poking Kakashi. Naruto and Tenzo were trying to muffle their laughter but failed in the end. Kakashi looked crestfallen and crouched in the corner with a cloud over his head, mumbling, I'm not old. Or, I'm just 24 feet, while poking some mysterious mushrooms with a stick that was growing on an old log which came from who knows where. The two sweat dropped. Tenzo and Naruto headed out to the academy. The academy. Here you are Naruto-kun, be good okay? Tenzo smiled and ruffled his hair. Don't worry. Naruto grinned and ran inside. Tenzo shook his head and headed back home to train with Kakashi. Naruto went inside looking for room 201 like the Hokage told him. He found the room and opened the door to see a lot of kids. Many he could recognize had a resemblance to their parents. The kid with the dog on his head is definitely an Inuzuka. The one that is sleeping seems to be a Nara. The kid eating chips is a Akamichi. The raven-haired one that is the eye candy of most of the girls in this clan must be Uchiha Sasuke. He has a surprising calm aura despite what happened last year. Flashback. Sarutobi gathered his Chunin and Anbu along with Team Tyra in his office. The massacre of the Uchiha clan was devastating. I'm sure you have figured out about the massacre of the Uchiha clan. Sarutobi started. The gathered ninja were whispering and muttering amongst themselves. The one responsible was Uchiha Shisui. His mental stability was very questionable on his last exam. Sarutobi stated, "Is the whole clan gone, sir?" A Chunin asked. No, Shisui was about to strike down Uchiha Sasuke, but Itachi arrived home and intercepted in time to prevent his death. Itachi managed to fend off Shisui but was tired from the mission he was just assigned and couldn't go after him when he ran off. Uchiha Shisui is now an S-class missing nin. Itachi and Sasuke are the only survivors. Sarutobi sighed. Flashback end. Hinata is here. Also that kid with the high collar coat and sunglasses is probably an Aburame. The platinum blonde girl is definitely the daughter of Inoichi. She looks just like him except a girl. Excuse me, I'm the new student, Naruto said at the brown-haired teacher with a scar along his nose. He turned around to look at Naruto. Ah, you must be the new student the Hokage told me about, Uzumaki Naruto, right? My name is Iruka, by the way. Yup, that's me and nice to meet you. Naruto grinned. Why does he get to join us now? We've been in the academy 2 years longer than him. A pink-haired girl screeched so loudly that Naruto had to cover his ears. What the hell is with that girl? The screeching of that banshee is killing me. Seriously, some of us here have better hearing than others. The Inuzuka and his dog even hate it. A lot of the class were trying to recover from the sudden outburst of the girl. Because the Hokage told me he was tutored by his older brothers, and I've told you to stop doing that, Sakura. Iruka scolded. The girl shrunk back into her seat. Now why don't you introduce yourself, Naruto? My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like my friends, Gigi, ramen, and my Oni-sans. I dislike arrogance, fangirls, spoiled brats, traitors, rapists, perverts, and liars. My hobbies include studying medicine, training with my Oni-sans and friends, gardening, and inventing new things. My dream is to be the greatest Hokage ever, even surpassing the Yondaime. Naruto exclaimed. Most of the class laughed at Naruto except the Nara, Akamichi, Inuzuka, and the Aburame clan heirs. Hinata looked pissed. Stop laughing. You don't see me laughing at your dreams. Naruto shouted angrily at them, which shut them up. Naruto, take a seat beside Shino. Could you raise your hand, Shino? Iruka asked and Shino raised his hand. Naruto took his seat. Well, you know who I am. What's your name? Naruto asked. Aburame Shino. I use my clan techniques with involved Kikai bugs. Shino replied. That's so cool. You must know a lot about bugs, right? Naruto grinned. Shino was slightly shocked that someone said his clan techniques with bugs were cool. He was used to being called weird or gross or something along those lines. Yes, our clan collects and keeps bugs we find to see if we can breed a new branch of Kikai bugs. Then I'm sure you can help me. Naruto smiled. You see, I have this garden full of medicinal herbs I use for medicine. But some of them are being eaten or destroyed by insects, and I don't want to use pesticide because it will harm the animals and good insects that live there. You think you can help me out? Yes, I would be honored. I may find new insects that will benefit the clan. Konoha does not have many outdoor herb gardens as most of them are off limits or in greenhouses sprayed with pesticide. It will be interesting to see what insects live in your garden. Is sometime after the academy suitable for you? Shino asked, excited at the prospect of finding new insects for his clan collection. Of course. Naruto smiled. He introduced himself to more people and ended up having Sasuke and his brother, Shikamaru, Kiba, and Hinata come over to his house as well. Choji wanted to come too but had something to do with his clan so he couldn't come. After the academy was over, Sasuke and his brother met up at entrance along with Shino, Shikamaru, and Hinata. Naruto was waiting for his brother to pick him up. Kakashi arrived riding on Obito's back and greeted Naruto. Whoa, is that your Ninken? Kiba exclaimed, awed by the size of Obito. The others were quite amazed by the sight as well. Kakashi got off Obito's back. You could say that, Kakashi said as Obito rolled his eye. Hey Kakashi Nichan, they're coming over to our house, okay? Naruto asked. Sure, why not? Kakashi smiled, and they all headed towards their house. At home, they all arrived at the house and Naruto led them into the clearing in the forest near their house. The garden Naruto created and took care of resided there to prevent any plants from being damaged from their training they would sometimes do in the backyard. The garden was absolutely huge and fenced with Tenzo's wood abilities and was booming with life from various animals, insects, and plants. Shino had a glint in his eye and started to tend to Naruto's bug problem immediately. The speed at which he left to do so was shocking and they sweat dropped. "You guys, I got something important to ask you," Naruto said, and they all paid attention to what he was saying. "Well, I want you guys to join Team Tyra," Naruto bluntly said. "By the way, Hinata, myself, Kakashi ni and Tenzo ni are already part of it." They dropped their jaws and agreed immediately after hearing about it. Naruto explained everything them, saying that they were worthy candidates of the new powers that came along with being part of the team, and explained all about spirit beasts and such. Naruto told Kiba that Akamaru could be his partner if he made the vows when Kyuubi told him it was possible, but only on animals other than humans. Kiba was delighted about that. He also told them that they could tell their parents or close family members about it, but they had to keep it a secret. They agreed to those terms. As instructed, they each took Naruto's hand and made the bond. Different designs of tattoos appeared on their bodies. Sasuke's was on his neck, Itachi's on his right bicep, Shikamaru's on his left bicep, Shino's was on his right hand, and Kiba's on his collarbone. "Okay guys, just like I told you," Naruto instructed. "Itachi, you first. I summon forth my destined spirit beast," Itachi said, and a very large raven the size of Neji's falcon appearing in a burst of fire before him. "Why do you wish for my power, Itachi?" the raven asked. "I want the power to protect my brother in this village," Itachi calmly said. "I accept the resolve you have shown me. I accept you as my master as long as you stay true to the resolution you have presented me. You may name me as you wish." The raven bowed. "Your name shall be Makoro," Itachi stated. The raven cawed and bowed again and disappeared into Itachi. "My turn after Oni-san," Sasuke said. "I summon forth my destined spirit beast." A large white tiger the same size as Seryoku burst forth and a bolt of lightning appeared. "Why do you wish for my power, Sasuke?" The tiger glared. "To protect my Ni-san and friends," Sasuke shouted. "A good resolve. I accept you as my master as long as you stay true to the resolution you have presented me. Name me as you see fit. I want to name you Hakuran." Sasuke smiled. Hakuran bowed and returned into Sasuke. Kiba was next and recited the vows. Tattoos appeared on Akamaru's shoulders and he transformed into a large black three-headed dog with large claws and teeth. "Whoa, is that really you, Akamaru?" Kiba shouted excitedly. Akamaru nodded and returned back to his normal form. Kiba ended up nicknaming Akamaru Cerberus when he entered that form. Shino summoned his and a very large prey mantis appeared. He named him Shirame. Shikamaru's spirit beast turned out to be a panther also the size of Seryoku and named him Kurai. The three original members of Team Tyra wondered if all spirit beasts were supposed to be big. Tenzo went to go inform the Hokage about the new members, while Kakashi explained the responsibilities they now had. They ended up staying for dinner. Naruto and Tenzo's cooking was top-notch. They all left and said their goodbyes except Shino, who had a very happy aura around him while he was helping Naruto with the garden. "You find anything new?" Naruto asked him. "Yes, I found many new insects in your garden I have not seen before and I am very sure there are more to be discovered," Shino said happily. "Well, if you want, you and your clan can come here whenever they want. It would really help my herb garden and you get to come and do all that bug collecting and stuff. I tend to add new medical herbs and breed new ones pretty often, so any extra help would be great." Naruto chimed. "I would be delighted to, Naruto." Shino accepted. Shino left for home to tell his family when it got dark, but not before collecting some more nocturnal insects. In the end, Shino or other members of the Aburame clan could be seen in Naruto's impossibly large garden of various herbs and plants, and it seemed to be booming with more life than ever. The Aburame clan were shocked at the sheer size of the garden and asked how he found time to tend to it all. Naruto replied with Kage Bushins. The clan was very grateful for permission to enter and work in the garden whenever they pleased, and it was even better at the fact that their clan compound was pretty near their house and garden. They ended up finding various new insects, even the oldest members saying that they haven't seen it before or haven't seen a bug like that one in years. Apparently Naruto's garden was the ideal residence of many uncommon and rare insects, which was great in the clan's perspective. As a thank you for their help, Naruto said that they could harvest some of the herbs for themselves if they ever needed it. 2 years later, Naruto ended up just proposing to the Aburame clan they should just share the garden in which to have doubled in size from the help of the clan. They gladly agreed. Choji joined the team, and ended up with a large red boar as his spirit beast. His tattoo was on his right hand. Choji named his spirit beast Chaojuru. They all had their new code names and cloaks with the team symbol on the back or on the shoulder. Their masks representing their spirit beasts also had the blue markings representing that they were part of the team. Itachi was codenamed Raven, Sasuke, Tiger, Shikamaru, Panther, Shino, Mantis, and Choji, Boar. The clan heads were rather happy that their kids joined the specialized legendary ninja squad. Itachi and Sasuke's teamwork was almost as good as Kakashi, Naruto, and Tenzo's. The trio perfected even more combinations and came up with new plans. Naruto created some more new ninja tools. One of the more popular ones were the instant jutsu seals. All you had to do was let the seal absorb a jutsu to store it away. Then when you want to use it, just channel a bit of chakra into the seal and the jutsu was casted. They were also reusable, which was greatly appreciated. Hinata and Naruto's medic studies were great. Hinata turned out to be a genius in the arts and Naruto was just a bit behind. Even if he wasn't talented as Hinata, he made it up with hard work and determination. Hinata's water-style Jukin was nearly perfected and she started to teach it to other members of the clan that were not proficient in the regular style of Jukin. Shikamaru and Choji's teamwork was coming along nicely, as well as Hinata, Kiba, and Shino's synchronization. Naruto and Sasuke were rivals but were also a deadly pair because of their teamwork with each other. Hiyashi was working quite well with Neji and Hinata. Anko and Naruto meant disaster for any enemy they came across. Naruto was still called to Anbu HQ for emergency cases and Hinata started to occasionally work in the hospital. It was finally graduation exam day, even though the members of Team Tyra knew they were going to pass hands down. The members of Team Tyra all passed with perfect grades. They left to celebrate at Naruto's house. Naruto decided he should check on his garden and Shino came along as well. He recently made a cave for mushrooms, moss and other cave plants. He passed through the garden while Shino went to work beside his father, greeting a few of the Aburame clan that were working there and went towards his cave. He figured he should leave the plants in there to grow on their own for a few months. But when he went inside he was absolutely shocked. Everything in here is glowing. Is that bug glowing too? What the hell? I think some of the plants bred during the few months and created bioluminescent plants and mushrooms. Kid, you see what I see? Naruto saw a more light coming from the back of the cave and carefully making way there to find. Is that a glowing hive? Gotta alert the Shino and his family. Shino! Naruto shouted as he ran out of the cave. Shino and the rest of the Aburames were alerted. When he got to him, you gotta see what happened, and Naruto explained about the fact of the cave he created for new plants. There is something else, isn't there, Naruto? Shino stated. It wouldn't be the first time Naruto created amazing new herbs and plants, edible or non-edible, which attracted foreign bugs much to the delight of the Aburame clan. Yeah, Naruto started. It's glowing. What? Shino confused, as were the other clan members working in the garden that joined in the conversation. All the plants in the cave are glowing. Even the bugs. But there's more, Naruto exclaimed, flailing his hands. Glowing? Shibi shocked. Never in his life did he ever come across glowing plants, much less insects that weren't fireflies. Yeah, there's this really big glowing hive at the back of the cave, you gotta see. Naruto shouted and ran off to the cave and the clan instantly followed. They were in shock at the glowing mushrooms. There was even glowing centipede and moths. What the? One clan member started. Shino and I along with Naruto will examine this glowing hive of his. The rest of you get to work on these new plants and insects. Shibi ordered. They nodded and went off to examine the cave, seeing how it was a narrow tunnel, then a big room, and another tunnel that curved off into another room in which the hive was located. The cave was rather damp with a little stream along the right wall. The light came in from the small holes on the ceiling, which the light from the outside added to the beauty of the cave. This way, Naruto said and led them to the second room of the cave. What the two members of clan were expecting, it wasn't this. Oh my. Shibi startled at the glowing hive. His and Shino's eyes started to sparkle. Have you seen anything like this, father? Shino asked while he was examining one of the hives hanging from the ceiling, examining some of the insects crawling around it. Guys, I think I see the queen or something. Naruto sputtered, pointing at a particularly large insect that seemed to be a hybrid of a praying mantis and a beetle. It was standing on 4 legs. It was neon blue with some black specks. The back of the insect was pointing up in the air. The head had small horns and glowing eyes with pincers. It was 3 times the size of Akamaru. I think I know what this is. Shibi stated. Father? Shino asked. This race of insects were supposed to be extinct. Shibi exclaimed. They're called Rockshiri, a warrior race of insects that were used by the first Abarames, but went extinct when the clan war ended because they were all killed. To think a few survived in some stray eggs that were forgotten until now. The eggs of the Rockshiri only hatch in certain conditions and will wait for as long as needed. And it seems Naruto-kun's cave was an ideal living condition. All of the Rockshiri lived in harmony with our late clan members and are very loyal. Maybe these ones might remember us after all these years. Shibi then approached the queen and lightly touched its head. The queen made some weird clicking sounds and Shibi smiled. She remember us. Shino brightened at the prospect of his ancestors' insect partners being revived again. Thank you, Naruto-kun. We of the Aburame clan are of great debt to you. Shibi thanked him. It was by accident, since you know about these guys. Naruto said and pointed at the queen. I'll leave this entire cave to you, though I'm still going to come in here and examine the new plants that I have seemed to have accidentally bred. That's fine and thank you. Shibi nodded. The entire Aburame clan were in high spirits of the Rockshiri returning again, and almost all of the clan visited them in the cave and helped the queen care for her hive. During this, Team Tyra were eating dinner prepared mostly by Tenzo and the help of Hinata. I wonder who's going to be on each team. Naruto wondered. The next day at the academy, the youngest members of the team sat together in the classroom. Sasuke, sitting by the window surrounded by his friends and secret teammates, was happy. Mainly because all of his fangirls couldn't get seats near them as Shino and Naruto were sitting beside him. Shino was telling Naruto about the new discoveries his clan made concerning the mysterious glowing insects and the Rockshiri. Ino and Sakura came in at the same time, screeching that they were there first, and that Sasuke-kun was theirs. Then all the fangirls erupted into argument over Sasuke. Naruto, and the rest of his secret team members including Kyuubi were trying to tune out the sound and regain their hearing back to normal until Naruto started to leak some killing intent from annoyance. His teammates were scared and dove under their desks. Even Shino and Shikamaru recognized the time to hide and dove to hide beside Sasuke, who was cowering in fear. All of his friends knew about Naruto's temper. Even though he was very tolerant and patient, when he snapped he was absolutely terrifying. Will you shut the fuck up, you goddamn banshees? It's annoying to hear that every goddamn day. You are staining the title of Kunoichi, you useless stupid fangirls. So do us all a favor and shut the hell up before I make you shut up, permantly. Naruto shouted with absolute malice and a hint of demonic sound, courtesy of the Kyuubi, in his voice, and killing intent was just rolling off of him in waves. For added effect, his eyes were red and slitted. His friends knew of him being the jailer of the Kyuubi and couldn't care less about it. All of the fangirls fainted, and fortunately, so did Sakura and Ino. Shino, Shikamaru, Sasuke, Hinata, Kiba, and Choji already had their first kill from missions assigned directly for the members of Team Tyra, so they weren't as affected by Naruto's killing intent. But that didn't mean they weren't scared. All the extra training they did also paid off to help in their tolerance of it. Naruto instantly calmed down and sat back in his chair. His friends deemed it safe to come out of hiding and returned into their seats. Iruka then walked in to see all the girls just waking up or still fainted. What happened? They wouldn't shut up. Everyone who didn't faint said at the same time. I see. Anyways, it's time for team assignments. Team 1, Iruka said and started announcing the teams. Team 7 will be Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto perked up at his name being called. Uchiha Sasuke. Him and Sasuke did a high five. And Haruno Sakura. Iruka finished to see Sasuke with a horrified look on his face, and Naruto repeatedly banged his head on his desk. Oh yeah, True love conquers all. Sakura squealed, making them cover their ears again. Team 8 consists of Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino, and Inuzuka Kiba. The three sighed in relief that they were with each other, seeing as their teamwork was top-notch and they were great friends. Though they pitied Sasuke and Naruto for having the pink banshee, they nicknamed her, on their team. Team 9 is still in circulation. Team 10 will be Yamanaka Ino, Akamichi Choji, and Nara Shikamaru. Iruka finished. Ino screeched at the fact that she will be on the same team as them, in which their ears were ringing from the sudden high-pitched sound. Choji and Shikamaru, though glad to be on the same team, sighed at the fact they got the blonde banshee. They nicknamed her as well. Then the door opened for some Junins to walk in and collected their teams. Team 10 were picked up by Asuma, which he was aware of who was on Team Tyra. Soon Teams 7 and 8 were the only ones in the classroom. 1 hour later, "Where is our sensei?" Sakura screamed, making the rest of them cover their ears. "Again, didn't I tell you to shut up already?" Naruto scowled. "You can't tell me what to do, Naruto baka," she screeched. Hinata pulled out some earplugs and handed them to everyone but Sakura, which they gladly accepted and put them in. The remark that Sakura screeched pissed them off. Naruto wasn't an idiot, he was a genius like Shikamaru, though a more practical kind of genius, especially when it came to creating something new and unexpected. "Kiba, will you do the honors?" Sasuke asked. "Of course, my friend." Kiba chimed and knocked Sakura unconscious. "Thank God." Naruto sighed. "Well, judging from the time, I have a good guess who is our sensei." They knew of Kakashi's punctuality since they were fed the most retarded late excuses from both Obito and him. Tenzo on the other hand was always on time or late by roughly an hour because he was dragging Kakashi to the meeting place. The door opened to reveal Tenzo, Kakashi, and Obito. "Sorry we're late, I got kidnapped by a mad clowns that were looking for another human attraction and Tenzo here came to my rescue, and because of our awesome Chunin skills we were able to escape but ran into Mario and had to help him save Princess Peach from Bowser, so we all hopped on a Yoshi to save her and using our super secret ninja techniques, saved Princess Peach, and then we realized how late we were and rushed over here as fast as we could." Kakashi explained with an eye smile while Obito was full-blown out laughing at this point. Their jaws were on the floor by the sheer stupidity and the unbelievably horrid excuse that Kakashi had given them. "At least make it believable," Kiba pointed out. "Yeah, Kakashi, you have to admit it was pretty far off. At least try and make it believable and unbelievable at the same time." Obito sniggered. "So Tenzo-Nisan, what really happened?" Naruto asked, regaining his composure, slightly. "We got caught up in our training and didn't notice that it was past the meeting time until about 10 minutes to an hour late, so we rushed here," Tenzo said truthfully after recovering from Kakashi's retarded late excuse. "Anyways, meet us at Training Ground 7, and sunshined off." Sakura woke up in time to hear instructions. They shrugged and sunshined to Training Ground 7, leaving Sakura behind. Training Ground 7. They sat and waited a good 20 minutes before Sakura arrived panting. "Took you long enough," Kiba remarked. "It's not my fault you left me behind," she screeched. Shino, Hinata, Kiba, Sasuke, and Naruto still had their EARG plugs in, but they still had to cover their ears while Tenzo, Kakashi, and Obito got a full blast of it. "Damn it, woman, turn it down. My ears still hurt even with my earplugs," Naruto told her. The rest of them were nodding with Naruto while Kakashi, Tenzo, and Obito tried to regain their hearing. "Okay, new rule, never screech like that again," Kakashi grumbled while the rest agreed. "Kakashi-senpai and I will be training you together," Tenzo explained. They grinned at that. "Why don't we start with introductions? You know the usual names, likes, dislikes, hobbies, and dreams." Kakashi smiled. "Why don't you show us how it's done, sensei?" Sakura asked. They all just stared at her for the sheer stupidity of her question. "Are you retarded or something?" They all thought, including the Kyuubi. "That has got to be one of the stupidest requests I've ever heard." Naruto deadpanned. Sakura blushed at all the attention she was getting and shrunk a bit. "Okay, my name is Hitaki Kakashi. I don't have that many likes, I do have a lot of dislikes, I have a lot of hobbies, my dreams." "None of your concern," Kakashi said. They all sweat dropped even though everyone except Sakura was kind of expecting that. "Your next bunch, I mean Pinky." Kakashi pointed at Sakura. The rest were sniggering at the nickname they gave her that he almost said before correcting himself. I'm Haruno Sakura, I like. Stares at Sasuke. My hobbies are. Glances at Sasuke. My dreams are. Glances at Sasuke and squeals. A fangirl and stalker. They thought and rolled their eyes. And your dislikes? Kakashi questioned. Ino pig and Naruto baka. Sakura scowled. They all glared at her for that and she didn't know what she did wrong. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like ramen, friends, my family, my garden, and a certain fox. I dislike traitors, those who hurt my friends and family, fangirls, people who hunt animals for fun, arrogance, whining and complaining, and 2 certain banshees. They snickered at that, except Sakura who didn't know what he was talking about. My hobbies are gardening, training, inventing new things and tactics, and spending time with my friends. My dream is to surpass all the previous Hokages. Naruto saluted. My name is Uchiha Sasuke, I like my friends, my brother, and learning new techniques. I dislike a certain Uchiha, fangirls, traitors, and being weak. My hobbies are training with my friends, and hanging out with them. My dream is to revive the Uchiha clan and restore the Konoha police force. I guess it's my turn. My name is Yamato Tenzo, my likes are my surrogate family, friends, teammates, and learning new things. I dislike traitors, tardiness, whining and complaining, and fangirls. My hobbies are training, reading, and cooking. I don't have a dream at the moment other than make sure my team become great shinobi. Tenzo said. My name is Aburame Shino, I like my friends and family, the garden Naruto-kun created and shared with my clan, and insects. I dislike those who hate insects, pesticide, traitors, and fangirls. My hobbies are collecting and studying insects found in Naruto-kun's garden that he shares with our clan, taking care of my hive, and reading. My dream is to become a respectable clan head and return the Rockshiri back to its former glory. Shino stated. Yo, my name is Inazuka Kiba. I like my friends, family, Akamaru, and food. I dislike house cats, cleaning our clan's kennel, traitors, perverts, and fangirls. My hobbies are training with those I like. My dream is to become the best clan head ever. Kiba grinned. My name is Hyuga Hinata. I like my friends, family, and flowers. I dislike traitors, the caged bird seal, my clan elders, fangirls, and people who hurt my family and friends. My hobbies are reading, flower pressing, spending time with my friends, and training. My dream is to remove the caged bird seal and unite my clan and also to become a good clan head. Hinata smiled. Okay, now that's out of the way. Let's on to the real test, shall we? Kakashi smiled. Sakura was about to screech something before Sasuke slapped his hand over her mouth, shutting her up. Don't even think about it. Sasuke growled and let go. We did this already though, we all that you're going to do the bell test. Which we've done. How many times? Naruto asked Shino. Shino readjusted his sunglasses and replied, 48. See? Naruto pointed out. You kept count? Kiba raised an eyebrow while Shino didn't reply. Sorry Naruto, it's protocol. Kakashi smiled. He pulled out 2 bells and so did Tenzo. You had to get these bells from me by this evening and the one who doesn't get sent back to the academy. But sensei, there's only 2 bells. Sakura said while the others just stared at her with disbelief. Yeah, we can all count you know. Sasuke sighed. Anyways, go. Tenzo commanded and Shino, Hinata, Kiba, Naruto, and Sasuke took off together while Sakura went in the opposite direction. Sasuke-kun, where are you? Sakura shouted moments later. Is she stupid or something? They thought. In the trees nearby. I got a plan, listen up. Naruto whispered to them. They all nodded and paid full attention to him while he explained his plan. They executed their plan perfectly. Sakura wasn't with them because apparently she was knocked out by a D-ranked genjutsu, which is pretty pathetic for a girl who specializes in genjutsu. When Naruto asked her for his help with the plan he came up with, she shrugged it off and said that she wouldn't work with him as she was too busy looking for Sasuke-kun. In the end she was tied to the post. Kakashi explained to her that if she didn't get her act together, mainly getting rid of her fangirl tendencies, that she would be putting the entire team in danger, and depending on the mission, even the village. Sakura shut up for a while. They untied her then. Dynamic entry. A green blurred into the area in a swirl of leaves. Dynamic entry number 2. A smaller green blur swept in. God damn it, Lee. Guy-sensei. Get back here. A girl with buns on her head came running in. Every time. Neji sighed as he ran after the girl. Oh no. Kakashi sighed as he put his hands on his masked face. Why? Tenzo shouted. What's wrong? Naruto said until he saw them. Kakashi, my eternal rival. How very youthful of us to meet here. Are these your youthful students? The man with the bowl cut, extremely thick eyebrows, and green spandex challenged. Are they as youthful as my Lee? Well, there's Naruto. Kakashi started and pointed at Naruto before. Guy-sensei, thank you. You are the most youthful sensei in Konoha. Lee shouted. Lee. Guy shouted. Man hugged his student. Guy-sensei. Lee shouted as he returned the hug. Then a sunset appeared in the background. They were suddenly on a cliff beside the ocean with waves crashing against it. Lee. Guy-sensei. They were watching in utter horror as they continued to see them hugging each other while yelling each other's names with anime tears. My eyes. They burn. This is illogical. Sunset should not occur for 4 more hours. How is this possible? Shino asked, stunned. What's illogical is them. Sakura mumbled. Kai. Oh my god. The sunset isn't going away. It's real. Kiba stared wide-eyed. Is that green spandex? Hinata wondered. Yeah, it is, the abominations of fashion. Sasuke said. Why now? Why today? Why ever? Kakashi shouted into the sky and Tenzo's sweat dropped. Naruto walked to them, hypnotized by the sunset. Everyone was too absorbed into denying this ever happened to notice him until Lee. Guy-sensei. Naruto. Lee. Guy-sensei. Naruto. Great, now there's 3 of them. Wait, what? Kiba shocked. Naruto was in the man hug. No. Naruto joined the green side. Kiba shouted at the top of his lungs and everyone saw Naruto with them, slowing turning to their side. No, Naruto. I'll save you. Kakashi yelled and tackled Naruto from the hug and they rolled on the ground. Kakashi sat Naruto up and smacked him across the face much to the shock of everyone else. Wah, what happened? Naruto still dazed. You were going to join them. Kakashi exclaimed and pointed to the still hugging teacher and student. Oh my god, what have I done? Naruto freaking out until Kakashi smacked him again. Calm down. I saved you from joining the green side. Kakashi reassured. Naruto nodded dumbly and Kakashi signaled for his team to get the hell out of there. In which, they gladly obeyed and vowed never to speak of this again. Next day. Tiger in position. Over. Banshee also in position. Over. Go to hell Naruto. Lion doesn't care and in position. Over. Cerberus ready. Over. Mantis the same status as Cerberus. Over. Lioness in position. Over. Stag ready. Everyone else? Over. Yes. Over. Wolf ready. Go go go. Over. Yarrrgh. I got him. Ack. Stop doing that. Here, take him Naruto. After they caught the devil cat, Tora, they headed back to the office. For some reason, animals enjoyed Naruto's company, so Tora was happily purring in Naruto's arms while he scratched his ears. How did you tame that thing Naruto? Sakura sighed. I dunno, I guess I'm just good with animals. Naruto replied. Hokage office. They walked in and the daimyo's wife grabbed Tora from Naruto's arms and started to squeeze the life out of it. She paid for the mission and walked out with a hissing cat trying to get back to Naruto. Hokage-sama, I would like to request a C-ranked mission for our teams. Kakashi requested. Finally, Naruto said. Sarutobi chuckled. Alright, I give you a C-ranked mission, an escort 1 to wave. Tazuna, could you come in here please? A drunk-looking man with a straw hat and sake bottle appeared through the door. So these brats are going to protect me? The blonde one and Pinky look like the ones who need protecting. Tazuna bluntly said. Naruto had a huge tick mark on his head and Sakura was just staring at Sasuke. Naruto started leaking a tinge of Ki, alerting everyone else but Sakura. Tenzo quickly grabbed and held back Naruto. Naruto, no attacking the client. Don't worry, I'll only let him feel pain. Naruto smiled sweetly. That's what we're worried about. They thought. Eventually Naruto calmed down and met up at the front gates, all packed and ready to go. Naruto, you got everything? Kakashi asked. Yup, got all my medicinal herbs in my green storage scroll, my poisons in the purple one, all my medicines in the blue one, kunai and shuriken in my holsters. ink and extra scrolls in my pack. My ninja tools like the sonic flash bombs in my pouch on my waist, trap making tools in my pack, hunting tools also in my pack along with my canteen and ration bars. Naruto recited, my first aid stuff on my waist in the white pouch. You would have forgotten some of that stuff if I didn't remind you. Shut up. Good, everyone else got everything? Tenzo asked. Hi, Tenzo-sensei. They chorused. Then let's go. Kakashi beamed and they started to head towards Wave. A few hours later, couldn't we ride on our spirit beasts? It'd be so much faster. Naruto complained quietly. We could. But then Sakura is here so we can't unless we erase her memories or knock her out. Sasuke said then smiled. Can we? Kiba asked Kakashi and Tenzo. Well, Kakashi started then noticed a puddle that was obviously not supposed to be there. Everyone but Sakura, who was still ogling Sasuke, and Tazuna, because he wasn't a shinobi, noticed it and sweat dropped. That has got to be the worst disguise I've ever seen. They all thought, is that supposed to be a disguise? Obito asked disappointed. Wow, even animals could tell that's suspicious. Should we engage them? Naruto signed using Anbu hand signs. Sure, why not? Kakashi signed back. I am so in on this. Kiba signed while grinning. Me too, I want to join. I need to relieve the stress the Banshee is giving me. Sasuke signed. I will leave that to you guys then. Hinata replied. Ready, go. Tenzo smiled. Naruto approached the puddle and from his poison scroll, he took out a small vial of dark purple liquid and poured it into the puddle. Sakura saw this. What are you doing, Naruto Baka? Sakura shrieked and approached him to try and punch him. Just then two figures with gauntlets and chains came out of the puddle and coughed heavily to rid the poison. They lunged at Sakura. Sasuke intercepted with a roundhouse kick to one of their heads while Naruto ducked and swept at their legs knocking them to the ground. But before they could hit the ground, Kiba and Shino appeared behind them and kicked them forward. Tenzo and Kakashi quickly knocked them out with a blow to the back of their neck. Sakura was frozen in place from shock on what had just occurred. Tazuna was very nervous. Good job boys, Sakura, if they weren't skilled enough because of the training they actually do unlike you, then you would have died. Stop your foolishness and get it together. The reason to become a shinobi shouldn't be because of a silly crush on some boy. Kakashi scolded. Sakura tried to protest but Kakashi cut her off before she could say anything. No Sakura, listen. This isn't a game. Sasuke or any other teammates with you on a mission won't come and save you whenever you're in trouble. They'll be too busy with their own battles to help you. It's kill or be killed in the shinobi life, so stop being a useless fangirl and become a useful kunoichi. Then went ahead leaving her behind. He's right, you know, Sakura, though he said it a little harsh. You needed to hear it to snap out of your girlish fantasies. Keep this up, and your whole team might be dead because you couldn't do anything, or you would be raped and killed or sold to a slave auction or a brothel. That is the fate of weak kunoichi like yourself at the moment. Tenzo sighed and walked away to join Kakashi. Sakura was crying silent tears, but deep inside, she knew what they said was completely true. She just didn't want to see it and stay in her dream world. The others knew that she had to hear the truth or else she would get killed. They continued to walk until Naruto sensed someone was watching them and threw a kunai into the bushes. Though when they checked to see if he had hit anything or anyone, all that was left was a white rabbit. They knew this wasn't natural and mist started rolling in the area. They heard a whooshing sound of something cutting through the air. Get down! Kakashi shouted and pulled Tazuna down while Tenzo got Sakura. Naruto, Sasuke, Kiba, Shino, and Hinata hit the ground as fast as possible. A large sword swooped over them, embedding itself into a tree behind them, and someone landed on it. Well. If it isn't Copy Ninja Kakashi, Tenzo of the Woodland, and Beast Master Naruto. What an honor to see you. The man said. Wow, I didn't know I had a moniker as well. Naruto surprised. Momochi Zabuza, Demon of the Hidden Mist. What is someone of your caliber doing here? Kakashi questioned. I'm here for the old man, so hand him over and you won't get killed. Zabuza smiled. No. Tenzo scowled. Stay back guys, he is out of your league. Kakashi warned. Me and Tenzo will handle him. They fought without spirit beasts. Much to the protest of Obito, who wanted to join the fight. They fought until they were both caught by the water prison jutsu. Give up now? Zabuza sneered. You can't get out and only the Beast Master over there has a chance of freeing you. But it seems he needs to protect the other brats and the old man, so hand him over. How about, no? Kakashi smiled. You can't expect us to give in that easily, can you? Tenzo grinned. They nodded at each other. Hayashi, Obito. They called, and a large pure black wolf and an equally large snow-white stag appeared. Whoa! Sakura admired while the others smirked. Tazuna was amazed by the sight as well. Obito, use Volt Tackle. Now, Kakashi commanded and Obito nodded. Obito was charging up electricity and was soon covered by a coat of lightning and charged at Zabuza. Hayashi, entangling roots. Tenzo ordered. Hayashi complied and summoned roots to ensnare Zabuza in place to prevent him from escaping. The roots wrapped around him, completely immobilizing his movement. Shit! Zabuza cursed and was directly hit by Obito's tackle square in the chest, forcing him to release the water prison, freeing Kakashi and Tenzo. Zabuza was electrocuted, but not enough to actually kill him. Before Kakashi could deal the final blow, 2 senbon needles struck his neck, rendering him dead. Kakashi checked him and nodded. A hunter ninja shot out and grabbed Zabuza. Thank you, I have been trailing him for quite some time now, I will go and dispose of the body. The ninja said and shunshined away. Great, he escaped. Naruto grumbled. Huh? What are you talking about, Naruto? I just checked if he was dead. Kakashi wondered. Those senbon needles struck 2 pressure points in his neck that renders him in a death-like trance, making him seem dead, even though he isn't. Naruto explained. They all groaned. How long before he recovers? We gave him a decent beating. Tenzo asked. I would say about a week if you didn't electrocute him. But I'd give him 2 weeks minimum before he recovers from the electricity. Hinata answered. Thank God we have you too. Kiba sighed. The rest nodded. So we should hurry to Tazuna's house. How long will it take Tazuna? Sasuke asked. About a day away if we hurry. Tazuna replied. Screw the secrecy, let's just ride our spirit beasts already. Naruto sighed. Fine fine. Kakashi muttered. He got on Obito's back and stuck himself to him with chakra. Tenzo also climbed on Hayashi's back. Seryoku, Naruto said, and the large golden lion came forth. Naruto climbed on his back and helped Tazuna on. Hikaran, Sasuke called, and the large white tiger appeared and got on his back, helping Sakura on as well. Ya, go Cerberus form Akamaru. Kiba chanted and Akamaru turned into the large 3-headed dog. Kiba happily jumped onto Akamaru's back. Shirame, Shino summoned and the large dark green prey mantis appeared. Shino got on Shirame's back. All good to go? Kakashi smiled. How did you guys get animal summons? Sakura asked. They're not animal summons, Sakura, they're spirit beasts. Naruto corrected. How come all of you have them and I don't? Sakura complained and they groaned. That is a secret that we cannot tell you. Tenzo answered. But all of you guys know it. Sakura whined. That's because they can keep a secret and were chosen by the person who gave us the power to summon them. That person said that one of the rules to obtaining one is to not tell anyone who they are in fear of mobs of ninja requesting the same power. So Hokage-sama made sure the person's identity was a secret. Sasuke explained while glancing at the impassive Naruto. I can keep a secret. I want to know. Sakura kept on complaining. The fact that you're whining and complaining doesn't help much. Besides, we just told you that we can't tell you, and everyone knows you and Ino are gossip queens. Hinata told her. Sakura shut up at that point. Well, let's go. Kakashi's eyes smiled and Obito ran towards Wave along with the rest of them. They made it to the large body of water the bridge was crossing over to see the boat person. They told him that they could make it themselves, and to the shock of the boat guy, the large animals started to run across the water quietly and much faster than the boat could go. Tazuna's house. They arrived and went into the house into the spare rooms. There were 3 rooms, so it was Kakashi, Naruto, and Tenzo in one room. Kiba, Shino, and Sasuke in the other, and Hinata and Sakura in the last one. After a good night's rest, they went into the forest near the house to do some training. Okay Sakura, since you're the weakest one here with the least training, you are going to climb trees without hands by molding chakra to your feet. Like so. Kakashi smiled and walked up the tree. Sakura gawked. The others already know how to do it, so work on this. When you have completed this task, run laps up and down the tree to increase your reserves. Sakura nodded and walked up the tree on her first try. Perked up at the fact she got it so easily, she started to do laps as she was told. Hey Hinata, we should get to work on that. Naruto whispered to her. Hinata nodded. Me and Hinata are going to work on something together, so we will be back later. Naruto told them and ran off with Hinata. They shrugged and went off to help Tazuna with the bridge. In a clearing near the house and training ground, Hinata and Naruto were working on medic kits for their team. They created homemade burn cream, salve for cuts and abrasions, special medic bandages that was treated with a special mixture of herbs that stopped bleeding and prevented infection. There was also a special viscous gel when applied to cuts that bled too much. It would stop the bleeding entirely so it could be wrapped with regular bandages. There was also homemade pain and fever tablets, painkiller tablets, and even itching cream for even they came across poison ivy or oak. The kit also included herb pills that flushed out alcohol and another kind that flushed out most poisons from the system. Each container containing each different kind of medicines were labeled. Finally done. Naruto smiled. Yes, it took a while to make all the different things in the kit for everyone, but it was worth it. Hinata nodded. Tazuna's house in the evening after dinner. Hey guys, me and Hinata got a surprise for you. Naruto chimed while Hinata nodded. Oh, and what is it? Kakashi smiled. Here, we made special medic kits for everyone. Hinata smiled and they all handed out a kit the size of a kunai holster to each of them. Thank you Hinata, Naruto. Tenzo smiled. Naruto was outside in the morning the next day. He was still angry about what Inari had said about his life. Never knew suffering my ass. He then noticed a girly boy picking herbs in a clearing within the forest. Hello, who are you? Naruto asked. Oh, my name is Haku, you? Haku asked. Naruto. You are that hunter nin that saved Zabuza, aren't you? Naruto his head. Haku tensed up and brought out some senbon. Calm down, I'm not going to hurt you, so how is Zabuza doing? Naruto asked. He's doing fine. Haku answered, relaxing slightly. Well, good luck on the day we meet again. Naruto said to her and shunshined away. Timeskip, the bridge battle. Naruto rescues Inari and Tsunami like in the manga, anime and headed down to the bridge on the back of Seryoku. Naruto having a gut feeling there was going to be a fight, had Seryoku using his gears of war. When he arrived, he saw Kakashi and Tenzo along with Hayashi and Obito fighting Zabuza, though they were obviously toying with him. Sasuke and Kiba along with their spirit beasts were finishing off Haku. Hinata was casting long-ranged medic spells with Yuki. Wow, looks like I wasn't needed. Naruto sighed. You are correct, though without the spirit beasts, they would be having more trouble. Shino replied. Definitely. Naruto said. Then after Haku and Zabuza collapsed defeated, a group of thugs and mercenaries with a midget man with a cane walked through the mist. Well, looks like the so-called demon of the mist and his little bitch was beaten by a bunch of brats. The midget sneered. Gato. Zabuza scowled and blacked out along with Haku. Gato explains his scheme of hiring and killing off ninja before their paid plan. Get them wa? Gato said and suddenly collapsed. A black aura suddenly surrounded him and all the mercenaries. The black aura suddenly took form of some kind of creature. It kind of looks like a Scyther from Pokemon but more demonic and has a tail. It was black and purple and had a tail. The creature was at least 30 to 40 feet in height. Sakura just fainted from the sight of it. What the hell is that? Kiba shouted. Kit, you have to kill that thing. What's going on? That thing is called an Ocare. It's a manifestation of evil and tainted spiritual energy. Unlike yours, your spirit beasts are actually called Shinsei, because spirit beasts are created from holy, sacred, and purified spiritual energy. Only a Shinsei can kill and defeat an Ocare. So get your team together because if you don't kill it, it'll rampage and kill everyone. Ninjutsu can damage it, but it can never actually harm it enough to kill it, so get moving. On IT, guys, team up, now, Naruto commanded, and they all got together in their fighting stances. Do you know what that is, Naruto? Kakashi asked, eyeing the beast. It's called an Ocare. It's the opposite of our spirit beasts or the official term, Shinsei. Only Shinsei have the ability to kill Ocare, which is basically evil and tainted spiritual energy taking a living form. If we don't kill it, it'll rampage and kill everyone. The fox said that ninjutsu can harm it, but not kill it. So basically, only members of Team Tyra can defeat these things. Naruto explained. Are you kidding? Sasuke shouted. Let's bring it down. They nodded. Hinata, stay back and protect Tazuna and support us from the back. Naruto, Sasuke, Kiba, and I will do close combat while Tenzo and Shino do the long range. Kakashi ordered. They all got to their positions. Seryoku, roar of courage. Naruto commanded. Seryoku let loose a loud roar. Orange light surrounded the members of Team Tyra and their partners, increasing their attack power. Obito, aspect of the pack, Kakashi told him. You got it, Kakashi. Obito complied and let loose a snarl while glowing with a blue aura. Then the blue aura surrounded them and increased their speed and agility. Bestial wrath. Kiba and Sasuke shouted. Cerberus, Akamaru, and Hikaran had their fur go red and they grew in size, making Kiba have a dog tail and ears with lengthened claws. Sasuke had tiger ears and tail, also with lengthened claws. They both got on all fours and growled. Feral form. Lightning. Kakashi yelled and Obito then turned into a lightning wolf. His whole being was lighting except for long blade-like claws and a blade-like horn on his head. Naruto then recalled Seryoku and summoned Kurogane, the large pure black griffin. I'll attack from the sky. Naruto told them. Gears of war. Kurogane then had navy blue battle armor fit with a saddle equipped. Naruto jumped onto Kurogane's back and flew off. Hayashi. Use barrier to protect Tazuna, Sakura, and Hinata. Tenzo ordered. As you wish, master. Hayashi bowed and reared up on his hind legs and made an animalistic sound. A green barrier that had a design like a turtle shell and took form of a dome that had Sakura, Hinata, Tazuna, Zabuza, and Haku. Those two just happened to be near them. Use nature's grace so you can power up your earth abilities and use entangling roots on that Ocare. Hayashi was covered in a green aura, with some leaves swirling around him. He then stomped one of his hooves down. The Ocare screeched as extremely thick and thorned roots wrapped around him, preventing movement. Shirame. Use insect swarm to drain that Ocare's energy. Shino commanded. The large prey mantis complied. He glowed an olive green and made some clicking noises. A swarm of spiritual insects surrounded the Ocare, draining its energy, making it screech even more. Sasuke and Kiba charged the creature along with Hikaran and Cerberus. Use Thunder Fang Hikaran, Sasuke shouted as he punched the head with Kiba. Molten Claws Cerberus, Kiba called out as he landed from the punch. Hikaran roared and latched on and bit into the shoulder of the creature, making it cry out in pain as volts of electricity coursed through its body. Cerberus took the front of the Ocare and with a claw that glowed lava red, slashed across its chest, making it shriek again. After Cerberus was out of the way, Kakashi and Obito came plowing through. Use Lightning Spear, Kakashi ordered Obito. He nodded and his horn charged out with electricity, making the horn abnormally larger than normal. Obito charged and pierced the chest of the Ocare and retracted, landing about 10 feet away from the creature. Black ichor spilled from the wound, making it howl in pain. The Ocare struggled from the onslaught of attacks and was freeing itself from the roots that snared him. Get back into the barrier. Naruto shouted from above. I'm going to finish it. They all complied and retreated into the barrier. Howl of the Wind Dragon. Naruto shouted. Kurogane nodded and reared back its head and let out an ear-piercing screech from its beak. The wind and sound flowed together, making the attack that came forth from Kurogane's mouth look like a cyclone, and it engulfed the Ocare and the surrounding area. Gashes started to appear on the bridge and on the creature, cutting and slashing at it until it was dead. Naruto then landed on the bridge. Tenzo dispelled the barrier. Is it over? Shino asked. The dead form of the Ocare glowed a bright light, blinding everyone in the vicinity. When the light died down, a large sky blue bird, that looks like a giant, with darker blue trimmed feathers was in the place of the beast. The bird had an holy aura. Thank you, young summoners, especially you, young one. The bird cawed. What's going on? And who are you? Naruto asked. My name is Empiria. I am the spirit guardian of the land of waves. The bird said, shocking everyone, including the villagers that had just arrived. If you're the guardian, what happened to do? Sasuke asked. A great evil, known as Kronos, tainted the land and sealed all the guardians away. Kronos is the king of all Ocare. During his reign, sealed and transformed us into his minions to ravage the land. Empiria explained. If that's true, how are we all alive? Naruto wondered. Your ancestor, a man named Ketsui, determination, stood up against Kronos and against all odds, at the cost of his life and his spiritual partners, defeated him. But Kronos was not a living being. He is the true manifestation of hatred, anger, chaotic, destructive, and evil emotions. So the best that Ketsui could do was to seal him away for a long, long time, until his one true heir could defeat him once again. Empiria said. Whoa, Kakashi said. The rest nodded dumbly. You are the child of prophecy, Uzumaki Naruto. You must defeat him when he is released. Time will only tell when Kronos awakens from his slumber and ensures chaos once more. You must get stronger, young one. Make more bonds because your bonds with others will become the key to his defeat, but choose wisely as only true and genuine bonds will guide you. Empiria smiled. I'll do my best, Empiria-sama. Naruto saluted along with the rest of Team Tyra. Thank you. And as a gift for freeing me from my shackles, I present you with these. Empiria cod and orbs of light floated before all the members of Team Tyra. The orbs transformed into beautiful necklaces with an aquamarine blue gems that hung around their neck. Think about the design yourself. They all started to look at their new necklace and looked at Empiria. These are very special. You can store your spirit energy inside. You can also summon my flock whenever you need our aid, and even me, though I'll only allow Naruto to do that since he is the heir. I hope this gift serves you well. Empiria said. Thank you, Empiria-sama. Hinata bowed and with the rest of the team. You're most welcome, child. Now I must rest. Do not worry, I shall watch over this land as it is my duty. Empiria nodded. A portal of some sort appeared in the sky above. Empiria flapped her wings and flew into the portal. The portal closed after the bird was entirely inside. Awesome, Kiba stated. Everyone agreed. All of the villagers were cheering at their newfound freedom. Gato and all the mercenaries were dead. The Kyuubi explained that all their spiritual chakra that allowed them to live was sucked dry from the Ocare. Sasuke and Kakashi got rid of them with a Kaiden jutsu. Zabuza and Haku woke up and agreed to join Konoha. Naruto discussed with the team that he wanted Zabuza and Haku to join. They agreed, mainly because even if they didn't, he would make them join anyways. Currently, Naruto made the bond with Zabuza and Haku, making them have their own tattoo design. Zabuza was on his right should and Haku's was on his left. Okay guys, summon your spirit beasts like I said. Naruto grinned. Sakura was guarding Tazuna, though it was mainly because they didn't want her to know it was Naruto who gave the power of the Shinsei, and blab it out to everyone in Fire Country. Besides, they all knew no one was going to attack anytime soon, but Kakashi left a shadow clone with her just in case. I summon my destined spirit beast. Zabuza called. A large black raptor appeared in a torrent of water. Why do you wish for my power, Zabuza? The raptor asked. I need power to protect my kid. Zabuza lazily answered and pointed at Haku. Haku was shocked. Very well, you shall have my power so long as you do not stray from the resolution you have given me. You may name me as you wish. The raptor bowed. I'll name you Osor, Fear. Zabuza said. The raptor nodded and disappeared into Zabuza. Your turn, Haku. Naruto smiled. I summon forth my destined spirit beast. Haku said. A large snow leopard appeared in a breeze of snow. Why do you wish for my power, Haku? The leopard asked. I want to protect my father. Haku smiled. Very well, I will lend you my power as long as you stay true to your resolve. The leopard bowed. Name me as you wish. Fubuki, Blizzard, seems nice. Haku nodded. Fubuki bowed and disappeared into Haku. Well, now that's out of the way. Let us go help our client build the bridge. Kakashi said happily. The others a little freaked out by his enthusiasm. They helped Tazuna build the bridge. It was done about 2 weeks later. They all left onwards to Konoha. Not bothering to walk, they just summoned out their beasts and rode them to Konoha, though they knocked out Sakura to prevent her from knowing that Haku and Zabuza had spirit beasts so she wouldn't question that it was one of them who granted the power to obtain them. They just strapped her to Hakuran, much to Sasuke's displeasure of his partner carrying the Banshee. Hokage office. When they got to Konoha, they dropped Sakura off at her house and went to go see the Hokage. When they got there, all the Anbu guards left and Naruto explained everything, even about the appearance of the Ocare. Kyubi had identified that particular type of Ocare as a flayer. They also told him about Empiria and the other spirit guardians of the elemental nations, also telling him about Kronos and Ketsui. I'm getting too old for this. Sarutobi sighed as he rubbed his temples. Anyways, Zabuza and Haku are now reinstated as shinobi of Konoha, though Zabuza will be on probation for a month. Good enough for me. Zabuza shrugged. They all left. Sarutobi gave Haku and Zabuza keys to their own place, so they left to check it out. Next few days, they bumped into Gaara, Tamari, and Kankuru the same way in the anime, though Sasuke did not do the rock thing. Naruto noticed Gaara in the tree, and Naruto whispered to him that he was the Kyubi vessel. Gaara and Naruto had a mutual understanding then, mainly because Shukaku was shaking in fear of the presence of Kyubi, and had agreed to stop bothering Gaara. Team 7 and 8 are waiting at the bridge like usual until Tenzo and Kakashi poofed in. Yo, we recommended you for the Chunin exams. Meet at the Academy Room 301 by 9 AM tomorrow, Yane. Kakashi smiled and sunshined away. That was a quick message. Anyways, here are your exam forms, good luck. Tenzo smiled and sunshined away also. Naruto arrived at his house with Sasuke. Kit, in my time when I was free, I came across a book. It has information on the Ocare, but I cannot open it. It has some sort of lock. I'll materialize it for you, hold on a sec. A large tome that was pretty damn thick appeared in Naruto's hands. It had many runes and odd-looking designs, but what was noticeable was the fact that there were chains, bounding the book closed. What's that? Sasuke asked. Kyubi said this has information on the Ocare, but we have to figure out how to open it. Though I've never seen these runes before, I can somehow read them. Naruto tilted his head. You're right, Sasuke muttered as he looked at the cover of the book. Let's see. Naruto mumbled and transferred some of his spirit energy into the lock. A projection appeared from the lock. There were 13 symbols, and each one was different. There is a bear, a wolf, a stag, a prey mantis, a boar, a snake, a falcon, a snow leopard, a tiger, a panther, a three-headed dog, a lynx, a raven, a raptor, and finally a dragon. The colors were faded and dull, and also transparent. The dragon symbol was in the middle while the others surrounded it in a circle. The dragon suddenly glowed and regained its vibrant colors, and looked almost alive. Whoa! Look at all these symbols. When I put my spiritual energy in, the dragon looked like it came back to life. Hey Sasuke. Naruto started. Yeah? Sasuke said, looking at the different animal symbols. Try putting some of your spirit energy into the lock. Naruto told him. Sasuke nodded and did what he said. The tiger symbol then regained all of its colors and seemed alive, just like the dragon. I get it. Each symbol represents one of us. And in order to open it, we had to get everyone here. Naruto nodded. I'll summon them right now. Sasuke nodded. Naruto then put chakra into his tattoo. I need you guys here. I have some very important information you guys might want to hear. Just then the entire ranks of Team Tyra appeared in a puff of smoke in the large living room. What's up Naruto? Kakashi asked. Kyubi gave me a book on the Ocare we ran into. Naruto explained, shock evident on their faces. There's a lock on it, and from what I could tell, I need everyone here to put a bit of their spiritual energy to completely unlock it. As you can see, only the dragon and the tiger symbols are lit up. They represent me and Sasuke. Sarutobi said and put his hand on the tome and transferred some energy. The bear symbol lit up. Ah, I see, each one represents one of us. One by one, each of them placed some of their energy in. The lock shattered into spectacles of light. Naruto opened the tome and flipped through the pages. He then found a picture of the Ocare that they ran into on the bridge. Hey, this is the demon we killed on the bride. It's called a devil flayer. Naruto said and showed them the picture. It says it's a B-ranked Ocare. Itachi read off the page. B rank? I wonder what an A or S rank is like if that was a B rank. Kiba said. Yeah, it wasn't that hard killing it since there was so many of us, but if we come across more by ourselves. Naruto shuddered. Yes. Well, keep a good lookout. If you guys encountered one, there might be more appearing now. I'll send a message to all villages warning them about the Ocare. Sarutobi said. But we must be careful with that information Hokage-sama. The other villages might demand the same power we all have. Possibly go as far as to kidnap Naruto for the power of the spirit beasts. Hiyashi warned. Yes, that is another thing to take into consideration. But it is possible if Naruto finds one whom he truly trusts from other villages that we give that power to them, though of course they have no way of spreading that power anyway. More so if that person happens to be a Jinchuriki. Sarutobi said. I really don't want to give one to Kumo. Hiyashi sighed. And I don't want to give one to Iwa. Kakashi also sighed. I'm siding with Kakashi on this one. They could use that power against us. We're still hostile with Iwa, and Naruto is the son of Sensei, the Yondaime. They are most likely take Naruto's head before they take his special power, or worse, they could capture him and turn him into breeding stock. Obito said. They nodded. I just remembered, Empiria said that there was one guardian for each country, so, where's ours? Naruto asked. Now that they thought about it, only the Wave Guardian was freed, so where was the Fire countries? Let's see. Empiria was freed when you fought off the Devil Flayer. Maybe the boss Ocare of a group of them lets you free them. If we kill the boss, then we free our guardian, but none have shown up or have been reported. Maybe the one in Wave was the start of a big cycle that will happen. Shikamaru suggested. That makes sense. Neji nodded. Yeah, Choji remarked. The secret meeting between the beast holders ended sometime after the discussion and they started to get ready for the Chunin exams. Hey Kit, you have enough spiritual energy to have me as a partner, and I already made the bond, so don't hesitate to summon me. I need some outside time once in a while. Okay, thanks Kyubi. Examination room. Team 7 just entered the room. Sasuke-kun. Ino shouted and glomped him. Oomph. Sasuke grunted. Get your filthy hands off Sasuke-kun. Sakura screeched at Ino. They continued to argue and Sasuke managed to sneak away by using his assassination training from Kakashi. Will you guys keep it down? You're just a bunch of brats fresh out of the academy and you're already making enemies. A gray-haired man with glasses said and pointed at the other genins. And who might you be? Shikamaru asked. My name is Kabuto, and if you want information, I'm your guy. I got these info cards. Just tell me who you want to look up. Kabuto grinned. No thanks. Though a mere genin like yourself shouldn't have things like info cards. Unless you're not who you say you are. Naruto looked at him suspiciously. Kabuto was feeling slightly nervous. Alright, shut up you maggots and get to your seats. Ibiki shouted. Skip the test. And you all, pass. Ibiki grinned. What? What about the 10th question? Tamari shouted. There was no 10th question, you just wanted to see if we had the guts not to abandon the mission. Naruto deduced. Correct. Ibiki smiled. Team Tyra sudden felt a presence near them. A bundled cloth with kunai smashed through the window and unraveled. The words stated, the hot and single Mitarashi Anko. Proctor of the second exam. Everyone's sweat dropped. Alright maggots. Get to training ground 44 pronto. Late and you're disqualified. Anko grinned and leapt off. Team Tyra followed her with their teams. Skip to when they enter the forest. Did you feel that? That grass nin felt very evil. Naruto whispered to Sasuke. Sasuke nodded. I recognized that vile chakra anywhere, that's Orochimaru. What? Are you serious? No joke, I know that snake scent anywhere. Orochimaru is here, and I think he's after your Sharingan teammate for his bloodline. Damn, I feel a presence west off here, and they're not your other teammates. See if you can grab a scroll off them. Alright, come on out, I can sense you three. Naruto called out making Sakura confused. What are you talking about Naruto Baka? There's no one here. Sakura screeched at him and tried to punch him but Naruto merely sidestepped out of the way. No he's right, there is someone there. Sasuke said after checking out Naruto's assumption. Oh, you're good. Then a group of rain ninja came out of the trees. Sasuke. Naruto called out. Sasuke nodded and they both stood by each other. They started weaving seals at a pace that rivaled most Junins. Fire style. Grand fireball. Sasuke shouted and blew out a massive ball of fire. Wind style. Great breakthrough. Naruto yelled out a second later and the wind clashed with the fireball, making it go white hot and sped up impressively. Only two off the rain nins dodged in time but the other couldn't completely make it out and his leg was severely burned. You'll pay for that. And they charged them. They both took out some ordinary katanas and slashed them. Sasuke and Naruto brought out their weapons that Naruto himself forged. Kyuubi sent him the knowledge and all Naruto needed was the practice. Soon he made very high-grade blades, especially when he used a rare combination of metals that resulted in a metal called elementium. It was much better to use than the other metal that could channel chakra. Though elementium was harder to forge with, the results were incomparable with normal chakra blades. Elementium could channel elemental chakra way better than other metals. The metal was a silvery blue color. Naruto brought out his sword, master sword from Lowe's, make the hilt and guard your choice of design. And Sasuke's was also a katana-like sword, his sword from Shippuden. They both used their weapons to guard against their enemies, but the enemies' blades, well, to be blunt, they sucked. So Naruto and Sasuke easily broke them and slashed at their tendons, rendering them from movement. Kyuubi had taught Naruto the dragon style and kitsune style of kenjutsu. Sasuke learned the Uchiha clan style from his brother. Give us the scroll and you won't die, Naruto commanded. The Rain Nin whimpered and tossed him the scroll. Team 7 dashed off when they checked it was the scroll they needed. That was fast, Sasuke said. Sasuke-kun, you were amazing. Sakura squealed. Next time, be useful instead of standing there. Naruto sighed. Sakura glared at him then went back to ogling Sasuke. They kept running toward the tower until a huge snake came crashing in, heading for Naruto. Naruto quickly unsheathed his sword and channeled his wind chakra into his sword, making it much sharper and deadly, and cut the snake in half, making it go up in a huge puff of smoke. Sakura screamed. A summon? Sasuke and Naruto thought. It's Orochimaru. Orochimaru, come out, I know you're there, Naruto shouted. What are you talking about? Sakura stared. Kukakuku. How did you know, Naruto-kun? Orochimaru grinned and slithered from his hiding spot and ripping off the face he stole off the poor grass ninja. No one besides Anko can use snakes. Are you stupid or something? Sasuke looked him his dumbly. Orochimaru was irritated he was called stupid, him. A Sanin. You're mine, Sasuke-kun. Orochimaru looked at Sasuke greedily. Sasuke shuddered with Naruto. Sorry, I don't go for people that are 40 years older than me, now that is just wrong. Are you some kind of gay pedophile? Sasuke asked half serious. Naruto just started laughing and Sakura giggled a bit. Orochimaru was seething. Summon me, kid, I can handle him. So, summoning a 250 feet tall 9-tailed fox is going to solve our problems? No, you idiot. I have a human form, I'm not idiotic enough to use my fox form. Oh, I see. Sure. Come on out, Kyuubi. Naruto grinned and dark red fire exploded from Naruto's chest and took the form of a handsome red-headed man with fox ears and 9 foxtails swaying behind him. Kyuubi looked to be dressed in a samurai-type armor, like what Madara used to wear, that was blood red. He also had a red katana. Hello there, snake scum. Time to play. Kyuubi grinned and rushed forward at a gaping Orochimaru. You can summon him? Sasuke whispered to Naruto. Yeah, though since he's so strong, he constantly drains my spiritual energy when he's out since he needs so much energy to stay out. The energy he gets from the environment isn't enough to sustain him for long, so he has to draw the energy he lacks from me. I can only have him out for 10 minutes tops before he drains too much. Naruto explained while Kyuubi was having fun pounding the crap out of Orochimaru. Sakura had already fainted. She fainted again? I didn't think the presence of the Kyuubi was that bad coupled with Orochimaru's ki. Sasuke said. Well, I guess it's cause we're used to it more than her, though it's better this way. She doesn't need to see this and spread it for all of the elemental countries to know. Naruto sighed. Good point. Sasuke nodded. Orochimaru was about to flee then suddenly bit Sasuke on the neck, shocking them. Kyuubi didn't think he could slither out of his grasp, but then again, he's Orochimaru, slithering around is what he does. Come find me for power, Sasuke-kun. What? Orochimaru said and noticed that no mark took place. He bit me. Get the disinfectant. He gave me a hickey. You pedophile. Sasuke shouted at a surprised Orochimaru. Why? Why don't you possess the curse mark? Orochimaru demanded and Kyuubi punched him in the gut. It's for us to know and for you to find out. Kyuubi grinned and pounded on Orochimaru's broken body before he fled. Kyuubi retreated back into Naruto, relieving him of his burden. Naruto applied first aid and used his healing ability to close the wound. There, all gone. Naruto rolled his eyes though was sure he would act the same way as Sasuke if he were in that position. They quickly picked up Sakura and got on the back of Kurogane and flew towards the tower. At the tower, "Hey, Gaara, can I talk to you for a minute?" Naruto called out after the whole explanation thing about heaven and earth that I didn't care to write about. Naruto called Gaara out to a private room and got Shukaku all sorted out. When Naruto made Shukaku a spirit beast, but Biju spirit beasts can only be summoned forth by the summoner themselves unless in mortal danger. Apparently the seal that was used to seal Shukaku in Gaara was constantly giving Shukaku great pain, making him very irritated and causing Gaara to slowly go insane by mistake. Team 7 were waiting in the indoor arena as the Hokage explained the true purpose of the Chunin exams, irritating a lot of the genin. "So, I heard that you ran into Orochimaru in the forest. Tell me why you didn't summon any of us to help out?" Kakashi asked them sternly. Sasuke and Naruto looked at each other and looked at Kakashi, then back at each other. "Well, I can summon the Kyuubi now, and he kind of beat up Orochimaru for us." Naruto fidgeted in place. Kakashi inwardly sighed in relief. "I'll report this to the Hokage and you tell the rest of the team." They nodded and they went to tell the others what had happened. Soon the prelims were going to start and Zabuza appeared out of nowhere. "I'm your proctor for the preliminaries and the final exam. These will be one-on-one matches selected at random. The match will stop if I say so. One surrenders or is unable to battle, or if one is killed. Go against my authority and I'll let you play with me for a little while." He grinned wickedly, making them shiver. The board then chose Uchiha Sasuke vs Akata Yoroi, I think that's his name. "Well, it looks like I'm up," Sasuke said and jumped into the arena. "Good luck." Kakashi, Naruto, and Sakura wished him. Sasuke waved in response as his opponent stood before him. Zabuza looked at the two then shouted, "Begin." Sasuke immediately did the seals for his fireball jutsu and launched it at Yoroi, who narrowly dodged and grabbed Sasuke's arm, draining his chakra. "What the?" Sasuke said. "Hee, it's my ability." Yoroi smirked. Hikaran, who is currently within Sasuke, felt the aggravation of his master's chakra, and summoned himself to protect him. Hikaran roared fiercely and lashed at Yoroi, making him back off from Sasuke. The appearance of the large majestic white tiger shocked many who didn't know about him. "Thanks, Hikaran." Sasuke grimaced. "Use lightning bolt." The tiger growled and electricity cackled around the beast and shot at Yoroi as a thick bolt of lightning. Having not dodged fast enough, Yoroi was hit and screamed in pain before passing out. Winner, Uchiha Sasuke. Cheers from Konoha rung through the air as Sasuke made his way back to the balcony. For those who wish to see more of the preliminaries, I sincerely apologize as I was never particularly interested in this part, making it a little hard for me to write it. I'm just going to skip to the finals and the invasion. The finalists are the same as the original story. Gaara, by the way, did not cripple Lee by crushing the leg. Time skip finals. Let the match between Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Neji begin. Genma announced. Naruto and Neji immediately summoned their spirit beasts, earning sounds of amazement from the crowd. "Seryoku, you ready for this?" Naruto asked the lion. "Of course, master." Seryoku bowed. "Saikuran, are you ready?" Neji asked the falcon. "Yes, of course, Neji-sama." The falcon replied. Fire gathered around Naruto's outstretched hand and a large bolt launched itself at Neji, who briskly dodged and sent a bolt of lightning in return. A shield of pure fire swirled around Naruto and Seryoku, blocking the bolt. "Bestial wrath," Naruto shouted. Seryoku gave a loud roar and his grew in size, his fur turning red and his eyes glowed eerily. Naruto felt the increase in power as small flames swirled around him in a gentle dance. "Firebolt," Naruto ordered as his weaved through his own seals. The lion unleashed a large fireball that was similar to the grand fireball technique. "Wind style. Great breakthrough." Naruto shouted and a large gust of wind met the fireball from behind, feeding it, making it turn white with intensity, and it doubled in size. "Feral form," Neji shouted. The bird cackled with electricity and two large falcon wings sprouted from Neji's back as he settled into his Jukin stance. He blurred into action and his hand barely skimmed Naruto's side as he narrowly dodged. Neji's hands sparked with lightning, making the Jukin even more deadly. Naruto jumped away and sent a barrage of shadow shuriken and kunai at Neji. Kaiten. Neji yelled and spun rapidly, the rotating chakra shield deflecting the weapons. Naruto quickly switched out Seryoku with Kurigane. Gale Storm. Naruto commanded. The griffin made a howling screech and the wind picked up, viciously dancing in the arena. Deep gashes appeared all over the ground and walls, cuts and lacerations. Naruto once again switched spirit beasts and casted Call of the Wild. Seryoku gave a commanding roar and lions made entirely of fire were summoned and charged Neji, who was trying to see from all the dust and debris that was picked up in the wind. Saikuran, seeing his master in danger, made a deafening screech. Dark clouds rolled in right above them and small lightning strikes flashed that struck at the fire lions, dispelling them. Roar of Courage. Naruto said and Seryoku complied. An image of a lion roaring appeared over Naruto's head as his glowed orange from the power-up. The light faded and Naruto charged Neji. They clashed in a vicious battle of taijutsu, Naruto slowly gaining the upper hand. Meanwhile, somehow, this doesn't seem like a genin battle. A Chunin commented dryly. Yeah, more like a Chunin battle to me. Another sighed. You have no idea? The members of Team Tyra who heard this comment thought at the same time. Back to the battle. Naruto, being more experienced, finally managed to pin down Neji as Seryoku did the same to Saikuran. Winner. Uzumaki Naruto. Genma called the match. Cheers erupted from the stands. Both spirit beasts returned to their master's body as Naruto helped Neji up and healed his wounds. Hee, you're getting better, Neji. Naruto grinned. It's nice to know that I have lasted longer than last time. Neji nodded in approval as they shook hands. Will Aburame Shino and Sabaku no Kankuro enter the field? Shino's sunglasses sparkled at the thought of finally fighting someone strong and tell. Proctor, I forfeit, Kankuro said. Shino slumped his shoulders as Naruto and Sasuke gently patted him on the back. Don't worry, you'll get your chance. Sasuke reassured. Shino sighed. Okay then, by default. Winner is Aburame Shino. Genma sighed and announced, will Sabaku no Tamari and Shikamaru Nara enter the field? I know that Sasuke's fight is supposed to be next, but since Gaara's fight is the signal for the invasion, I thought it would be nice for Shikamaru's abilities be shown before the invasion. TCH. Troublesome. Shikamaru grumbled as he walked down onto the field. He wanted to forfeit, but the stares from Gaara, Naruto, Sasuke, Shino, and Neji that screamed, I dare you to forfeit, made him go into the arena. Begin. Shikamaru instantly leapt into the shadows and summoned his panther spirit beast, Kurai. Kurai, use shadow meld on both of us, I need some time to think. Shikamaru whispered to the large panther. Kurai nodded and casted shadow meld. The two instantly melded into the shadows, shadowing them from sight. Where did you go, boy? Tamari growled as she looked around in all directions. Shikamaru snapped his eyes open as he thought of his plan a few moments later. Kurai, use Veil of Darkness then shadow form on both of us. Shikamaru commanded. Of course, master. Kurai said and did as he was told. Darkness crept onto the arena, shielding everything engulfed from view from the outside or in. What's going on? Grr, I'll just have to blow this all away. Tamari then reared up her fan and swung, but the darkness didn't lift a bit, causing her to panic slightly. She then saw two pairs of glowing eyes. Ninja art. Shadow paralysis technique. Shikamaru said and his shadow made its way to Tamari and connected it to her. I can't move, Tamari stuttered. The veil of darkness lifted and everyone could see what was happening again. What they saw shocked them. A panther the same size as Seryoku was behind the girl with his jaws full of sharp teeth positioned at the side of her neck, ready to clamp down and end her life. A shadow connected from Tamari and Shikamaru told the ninja who knew the technique exactly what was going on. Proctor, I forfeit, Tamari said as she eyed the razor-sharp teeth by her neck fearfully. Winner. Nara Shikamaru. Genma shouted and cheers met this announcement. Yeah, Shikamaru, you kicked her ass. Kiba shouted from the stands. Troublesome. Shikamaru sighed and went back to the waiting area. Will Uchiha Sasuke and Sabaku no Gaara enter the field? No hard feelings? Sasuke offered his hand. Gaara eyed it and Naruto took one of Gaara's hands and put it into Sasuke's and shook it. Like this, Gaara? Naruto smiled brightly. Gaara nodded and said, "No hard feelings, but I cannot guarantee the same for Shukaku." "Hey, I heard that," Shukaku whined. "Don't be so mean." Gaara only shook his head at Shukaku's childish whining. Sasuke and Gaara entered the field and sand and fire met each other in a devastating clash as soon the match begun. Fire style. Grand Fireball Jutsu. Sasuke shouted and blew the fireball at Gaara, who blocked it with a shield of sand. Feathers fell from the sky, making the civilians and a few of the observing genin and academy students fall asleep and slump in their seats. All the ninja knew it was a genjutsu and released themselves from it. "Kai," they muttered to themselves. Naruto noticed Sarutobi get led away by the Kage and immediately followed. Kakashi and Tenzo shouted orders at Team Tyra while Hiashi ordered his clan members. Giant snakes appeared all over Konoha. Jiraiya handled the ones near the main walls with his frog summons while he rode on his own spirit beast, courtesy of Naruto after meeting him, which was a giant snowy owl. Team Tyra handled the other giant snakes rather well. Choji's boar did an excellent job at ramming the snakes over because of its insane strength. Tenzo bound one in wood and crushed it. Kakashi completely electrocuted his. Kiba and Cerberus plowed down another with his clan as Shino did the same with the other. Itachi and Sasuke were busy fighting the sound ninjas in the stadium like the others. Hinata was with some of the Junins healing them while they fought. Hiashi was killing some in the park. Tamari and Kankuro along with Baki encouraged Gaara to start attacking, but Gaara only summoned Shukaku in his human form and let him attack sound ninjas. "Why are you doing this, Gaara? We are supposed to be attacking Konoha," Baki said. "Really? I heard, kill the sound ninja," Gaara monotoned as he watched Shukaku cackle with glee as he destroyed the sound ninjas. "No, the plan was to kill the leaf ninja." Kankuro corrected him. I could have sworn we were supposed to kill the sound." Gaara replied. "No. Gaara, kill leaf ninja, help sound ninja." Baki sighed. Well, Gaara started as he saw Shukaku wipe out another squad of sound ninja. "Too late now, I'm killing the sound ninja," and crushed a nearby sound nin. Meanwhile, the barrier was put up around Sarutobi and Orochimaru by the sound 4. "Don't worry, old man, I got your back." Naruto gave a serious look that looked kind of funny and flashed a thumbs up. Sarutobi tripped over his feet comically and looked at Naruto with a ridiculous look. "What the hell are you doing here? I came to help you out." Naruto grinned. Sarutobi just smacked his forehead and sighed. "Kukuku, my Naruto-kun. I know you do not have the energy to summon your furry friend again to help you out this time, I can sense it." Orochimaru grinned with arrogance. "Damn it, he knows my secret." Naruto squinted his eyes. "It's not really much of a secret, dumbass. This barrier, it's shrouded with demonic energy. I wouldn't try summoning your friends. There was not enough space for old goat and snake freak to fight in the first place, but you being here make it really crowded for room. If anyone but you touches that barrier, they get burnt to ashes." Naruto gulped at that and whispered the message to Sarutobi, who nodded grimly. "Hashirama." Sarutobi called out and the large brown bear made its appearance. "Summoning Tekik." "Enma." Sarutobi said again and the Monkey King made his appearance. "Orochimaru again, I told you, you should have killed him that time before." Enma said. "I know, and I'm paying the consequences." Sarutobi sighed. "Forbidden technique. Impure world resurrection." Orochimaru cackled and 2 coffins appeared, one that said Shodem and the other Nidame. They opened to reveal both previous Hokages. "What is going on, Sarutobi?" Hashirama asked. "Hey look, he's an old man now." Tobirama laughed and pointed at Sarutobi, who had a large tick mark on his head. "Cool, it's the Shodem and Nidame Hokage. Too bad we had to meet like this though." Naruto pouted. Orochimaru wasted no time and shoved 2 kunai in the back of the 2 dead Hokages' heads, making their eyes go white in an emotionless face to place. "Wow, do you suck that badly?" Naruto asked, hoping to make the dead Hokages go after him so Sarutobi could fight Orochimaru alone. "What was that, brat?" Orochimaru sneered. "Just stating the obvious. If you are all powerful as you say, then you wouldn't be some wimp and hide behind the 2 previous Hokages like some coward, unless you can't beat the old man by yourself." Naruto taunted, which Orochimaru was quickly falling for. Sarutobi and Enma caught on to what Naruto was doing and kept quiet, trying to muffle their snickers. Geez, the old man is older than you are, but I'm pretty sure that old age is getting to you, you wrinkled snake freak. The perverted acts with children must be contributing to your bad back and sore hips. I didn't know you liked it so rough, snake freak. Naruto sighed in comical exasperation as the observing Anbu and Kakashi tried to muffle their laughter but failed and burst out laughing as well at Sarutobi and Enma. Shodem, Naidame, kill that brat. I will deal with this old man myself. Orochimaru growled. TCH, you must have been a feisty Uke Orochimaru. Naruto grumbled, but the ninja heard it, making them go into another fit of laughter. The Shodem shouted, wood style. Dense woodland. And trees erupted from the ground, turning the battlefield into a dense forest. The Naidames seemingly had an endless amount of chakra, sent water dragons and shark bombs at Naruto at a rapid pace while the Shodem had wooden pikes fly after him. Holy shit! Naruto shouted and ran through the trees, dodging each comically. What is with you crazy assholes? This should be illegal. He screamed as he ran from each attack. He would have been on the offense, only if the two most powerful Hokages weren't trying to kill him. He didn't even bother summoning Seryoku or Kurogane. It would have been a waste of energy seeing as he couldn't do anything to them from the lack of fighting experience and prowess compared to the Naidame and Shodem right now. The Anbu and Kakashi sweat dropped as they saw Naruto run and dodge from the various attacks from their previous Hokages while screaming comically. On the other half of the battlefield, Sarutobi had Enma transform into the diamond staff and Hashi in his feral form. Hashi made a wall of fire per his master's request so that Orochimaru would be burned badly if he wanted to go after Naruto, who he could hear the screams from. Back with Naruto, this is fucking insane, Naruto yelled after he again narrowly dodged a wooden pike flying at him. Water style. Water dragon. Naidame called again and another dragon made of water chased Naruto. There should be some kind of limit to this. Naruto exclaimed and dodged behind a tree. Naruto ran from the Hokages and was faced with a wall, which Kakashi and Anbu were on the other side. Shodem cornered him by making a net of thick branches as a wall to prevent Naruto from running again. Naruto turned to look at Kakashi and the Anbu and mouthed, "Help me," with a desperate look on his face and leapt to dodge a water shark bomb aimed at him. Water style. Water bullets. Naidame yelled and spat large globs of water like a gun at Naruto, who ran. Kit, charge some of my chakra into your fit and punch the barrier to break it. Naruto charged the red chakra into his fist and charged the barrier and punched it. It cracked, but not by much. Ah, come on. I'm getting blasted by water sharks and dragons and skewered by wooden pikes, and this stupid barrier can't give me any leeway? Naruto whined as a pike grazed his cheek and slammed into the barrier, catching on fire and burning to a crisp. Naruto looked behind him fearfully. The Anbu and Kakashi saw the crack and got into their battle stances. Come on, keep trying, Naruto. You have to break it. Kakashi shouted. They shouted encouragements at Naruto. Shadow clone jutsu. Naruto shouted and puffs of smoke filled the caged-in area. Attack. The clones and Naruto gave a barrage of kicks and punches enhanced with the Kyuubi's chakra, but only large cracks appeared on the shield. Okay guys, human cannonball, Naruto said as puffs of smoke appeared from the clones being killed by the Hokages. Naruto completely coated himself with the red chakra and a Naruto clone took his hands and spun him around to gain momentum and threw Naruto at the barrier. Naruto struck the barrier, but only made a really big crack. He slid down from where he hit as he hand swirls in his eyes from the spinning. Kakashi saw this and could only shout, "What kind of moron are you?" At the stupid but somewhat brilliant idea. You idiot. The Anbu could only face palm at the action. Let's try this again. Naruto stood up dizzily, but his swaying only allowed him to luckily dodge a few wooden pikes and water bullets aimed at him. Mass shadow clone jutsu. Naruto grinned and more shadow clones filled the area. Most went to distract the Hokages. After another try with the human cannonball, Naruto sighed. Okay, one last time. Naruto growled and was launched again. This time, the barrier in the area shattered, allowing the Anbu teams and Kakashi to jump in before it regenerated. Good work Naruto, rest up, we'll handle it from here. Kakashi ordered. Naruto nodded and sat down, trying to regain his breath from the chakra use. The Anbu and Kakashi did a good job holding off their previous Hokages as another Anbu team broke through the branches to help their Sandame. Hashi had used Roar of Sacrifice in time before Sarutobi was stabbed. The wound was nullified so it did no damage. The intervening Anbu managed to get to Sarutobi and help fight Orochimaru. Hashi, use Soul Cutter, Sarutobi shouted at the momentary distraction. Hashi did as he was told, but Orochimaru tried to dodge, making only his arms being affected. The arms went black and limp. What is this technique? My arms feel like they're on fire. Orochimaru grimaced. We are retreating. We cannot win this. The Sound Four nodded and dispelled the barrier and helped their master escape. Anbu tried to go after them but they got caught up in a sticky web. Sorry, for causing so much trouble, Shodem said, and he and the Nidame crumbled to dust. Hokage-sama, all the enemies are retreating. It seems that the Sand Ninja have realized that their cage has been Orochimaru and fought alongside with us in the invasion. An Anbu reported. Good. Sarutobi nodded. A large chakra pulse was felt from above. I am free at last. Fear me, mortals. Ragnaros has returned to make you pay. A demonic voice shouted. All the ninja looked up to see a horrifying sight. A being of fire wielding a devastating weapon loomed over them. That's all for now. If you enjoyed, then please like, share and do comments.